Maybe kind of speak to me a little bit as far as what you're expecting maybe for executions when it comes to Poise and his ability to kind of bait out maybe some rotations based on sound cues and teleports.
I'm just kind of looking out for gate crash plays here. Again, gate crash inside teleports. Fake outs can activate the teleporter as well. Things like that to really, fake information. So we'll see if Sentinels fall for any of the shenanigans. Obviously, Viper being played mostly into the showers. This all from the Viper, this toxic screen, pretty standard. Straight away, just cutting off showers.
That's actually some really valuable information from the Boombot. Aldrone will also now be sent out offensively. Not going to see too much. You see that gate crash moving forward over towards Lamps, but it's actually going to be Floppy mid-map to secure first blood for the offense. So maybe a little bit of extra flexibility for them to work with here, knowing that Sentinels will likely have to rotate some defenders over just in case this is a B play.
Shazam down as well means for any potential retake, it's just going to be rough without that recon. A lot of utility being spent over towards A currently, and that's a spike being planted. So back we come, Sentinels. They know it's not B.
Yeah, look at the lineup too. You've got the barrier orb blocking off this plant just from showers, and beyond that, trying to clear space with that toxic screen. Stops the first one forward, gets the counter trade. But now it's just down to can they actually win the gunfights when they matter most. Mitch trying to hide into a poison cloud, and largely no successful kills whatsoever. Not the greatest flash we've ever seen from Poise. That'll be the end of him, and Sentinels, nice retake there to get the first pistol.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of teams don't really play this Yoru, the self-flash there from Poise. Not going to be helping him out. Probably isn't going to win the 1vx scenario anyway, but you see the plant quite aggressively just outside of showers. They use the wall for that. The issue is you're playing very close to a toxin screen, and you see Sentinels getting to use this toxin screen for the retake as well, and notably, the toxin screen puts the spike kind of in POV and line of sight of Sentinels and kind of in their favor as well. So they get to sort of walk up to the spike for free, drop the screen down, and then shoot out the rest of C9. So victorious round going the way of Sentinels. Early pistol being taken. Fire-ups across the board. 4 Spectres. 6 the only one on the Ghost.
First look here for Cloud9 as far as what they might want to do over towards B. So the fake out was used to move through over towards the entrance to Hookah. Kind of play with sound as much as humanly possible. Shazam going to be tested, but Tens is there for assistance. The shock bolt actually finds a lot of damage, and Shazam was able to follow up to get the second elimination. Leaf will find one in response to keep the play maybe alive through B long, but you see the spike rotating over and playing to the middle of the map, likely towards A.
We'll see if Leaf wants to make a teleporter play as well. He'll maybe just back away, actually. This is going to be an A finish. Pretty certain about it at that second. Floppy pretty deep in towards showers. You have Mitch over towards short as well, just playing for the timer, seeing if they can have a couple of Sentinels rotate over. Would like to see Leaf maybe try and bait some of that, but he's out of util. That's the biggest issue.
Tens does not want to give up the single. Long is going to get a 1v1 versus Leaf. Our players to watch squaring off early. Tens coming away the victor here. Floppy, long range, able to tag up Sick just a touch. But
Zom's flanking.
Not a lot that they could do. Dapper, Sick, able to find the elimination. Spike down to the ground. No chance for Sentinels to get, or probably for Cloud9 Blue to do too much towards that attack after losing the first blood.
Yeah, I mean, both players on B there. You see Zom's pushing down ramp. You see Tens obviously going towards long, getting the kill on towards Leaf, and they know it's not B. At that point, A defenders just being prepared. Only a couple members alive. Cloud9 anyway. Going to set up a bit of a one-way here for Dapper. Same toxic screen though. I mean, A is pretty locked down with all the utility coming through from the Viper. Must be the first proper gun round though coming through from Cloud9, so a lot of expectations for them to be able to take away this round.
It's interesting setup here for the Yoru of Poise. Fake out and some motion over towards showers, but he's got the gate crash set up to go back over towards B well, which will be scouted out by Shazam. Sees one, gets the tag. Leaf trying to throw a shoulder in. That'll be enough information to Shazam to back down. And man, I'll tell you, Cloud9 is putting a lot of pressure all over the map with all of these extra sound cues, but largely you just need to find them some sort of success to actually get onto a site so far.
And Zoms has Hookah really locked down as well. I mean, look at all the stars over there. Currently, Leaf is going to try and get entry over towards elbow side of things. It's actually clear for now. Shazam's moved away. Zom still has window though. As long as Zom says Hookah, this is a big threat.
Able to lock down the first shots. Also sees Poise stuck behind the container, but Poise exiting away does find a trade. So 4v4 we go. Kills starting to come through on the retake though in favor of Sentinels. The post plant setup for Cloud9 Blue will be stacked over towards the god in the back, of which Zeta is able to find one. The power for Sentinels are fully here. The kills are coming through. Mitch, the last one left alive, forced to go to the reload. No chance to get any more eliminations beyond that, and Sentinels stay flawless so far in their D.
And that's a massive round coming through from Sentinels. 3 in a row, including that gun round that C9 had. They get to pick up the weapons for free now. and Zom's full hookah control. I mean, at this point, you didn't see Cloud9 really take control of Elbow. All they had is Octagon. They had Long and Octagon, and that's it. Obviously, couldn't make their way towards CT. Zom's getting that initial kill, putting the damage onto, who was it, Leaf as well. Poise, I mean, it really makes things a lot more difficult for Cloud9, and this retake just completely surrounding the angles over towards Long, and that's all that Sentinels needed to do because the rest of the map was clear.
So Cloud9 Blue down 0-3. One of the biggest things that they've found success with throughout this tournament so far is their efficiency on full buy rounds. So that's going to have to be something we kind of keep our eye on as they move forward. Again, we don't have a lot of statistics to work off when it comes to buying because throughout the VCT in whole, that's Stage 1, Stage 2 combined, both of these teams have only played it 3 times each. So there's not a lot to go off of here, but one of the staples as far as the economical advantage throughout this tournament is that Cloud9 Blue largely dominates that conversation. That's not been the case so far. Pens locking down an angle will find the first blood onto Mitch. Fakeout was a part of that. It's not going to result into too much pressure here for C9 as they're pushed right back into Spices and right into the waiting arm potentially of Zoms. There's one, going to find himself a second. That's the spike, looking for the third. No. Poise will at least find one response, and as Zeta gets another, this is still doable with this weapon in the backside that Poise can pick up for free.
It's going to come down to Shazam because at this point, yep, Shazam up for it. We'll find the kill. One left remaining. Spike on the floor. Just Zeta. No gun. Gets pinched through the teleporter. Sickle cleaning it up, and now 4 on the board for Sentinels. It was obviously versus just an eco from Cloud9. 2 members died on the side of Sentinels, so a little bit of damage done. Just keeping Sentinels honest for now into the rebuys. Speaking of rebuys, here's a big round for Cloud9. If they got to take this round, otherwise it will be a lot more momentum going the way of Sentinels. 5-0 start for Sentinels would be pretty devastating for Cloud9.
Especially considering that this is Cloud9's pick, right? I mean, they're the ones that are trying to throw some strangeness into this map pool. Granted, it is still early, and if you were to go back and to look at the only times that, you know, we saw the Sentinels team play this map, you had to go all the way back to the Ignition Series era when they played this map largely as their main focus. Their defensive side was by far their better one, so that is something to be said, but again, that was nearly a year ago, so take from that what you will. Regardless, Cloud9 Blue, who've been trying to kind of finagle this Sentinels defense, have largely not found a lot of success when it comes to first bloods yet.
Just by the way as well, small interaction there, but you did see the boombot being triggered. So Poise, job on the fake out there. Gate crashes onto the other side of the map, so instantly gets to disengage back towards B where they want to go through. A lot of stars to get through though, and look at the fast rotation. Shazam knows he's on his way over. At this point, Sentinels will have 3. Now got to start dropping down. Some of these stars, dimensional rift being played. Poise going all the way to the backside.
He's going to find a lot of information off this, but again, there's just not a lot of interactions that are favoring Cloud9. It's a 3-for-2 exchange favoring the defenders. Sick still has the showstopper, pushes that one out for an elimination. Mitch trying to find trades, but can only walk away with 1. So once more, Sentinels defense holding solid, and they've only allowed this Cloud9 Blue team to plant, what, twice so far?
Yeah, I mean, like Sentinels, they fast rotate over. Shazam's already there. The dimensional rift isn't going to get a lot of value. He's trying to go towards the back, but he's instantly on the slow orb, and he'll get the 1 kill, but instantly gets traded. Sicker has showstopper. So another successful round for Sentinels overall. You're just not seeing these successes on the buy rounds through from Cloud9 into another eco here. Mitch is expected. That's all they can really hope for. Outside of something done with the Hunter's Fury to get an opening frag, if they can pick up a couple of guns, it would be nice. But at this point, Sentinels have snowballed very effectively in this first half.
Another situation where Cloud9 Blue misses a chance to work with that full buy situation. So now they're back on to pistol upgrades with Mitch, who has been able to properly afford an SMG. Shazam once again tested. He's been so good at getting out of here for free though. And how about that? Not just for free, he also takes first blood with him. 10's rotating over. He's gonna find himself 2. Good patience for the 3rd. Gonna use the double dismiss, knowing that Zeta is still playing the same angle. There's really not a lot that he's gonna be able to do from here.
Yep, this should be a flawless. Zeta will land a headshot, but Sick will clean it up. So, economy looking safe. All guns being kept. A couple of pistol upgrades maybe. And another buy round for Cloud9. Now, if they lose this one, Sentinels will have claimed that first half. 7 rounds. No chance for Cloud9 to take it anymore. It would take quite a monstrous effort anyway just to make some sort of comeback. I mean, what can we expect of Cloud9? Maybe 4 rounds? I mean, I think 6 at the time being would be quite a lot to ask for. So I think 5 would be best case scenario. 4 would be a little bit more realistic. But even 3, I mean, you know, at this point, you're just not really seeing, unless Cloud9 can really get their ball rolling off this buy round, and it's going to be hard to walk into A with the Viper spit already being committed.
You do see the fake out coming through, so it's actually going to be Dapper backing up a little bit to play. All the meanwhile coming through Hookah. Tens with a find one. Paint Shells will grab a second. I was about to say, this is a must-win round here for the side of Cloud9 Blue. They used the Hunter's Fury early, but they really don't find too much of anything. So you get to a 3v3 after the trades come through. The take out of the B site looking largely successful. The barrier orb will keep them safe from elbow. And even beyond, I was about to say, Mitch does have a resurrection that should be largely free for him to grab. So now it's a 4v3 the other way. And, well, Cloud9 still not on the site for a plant yet. They're still waiting for the perfect opportunity to make a go call on this execute.
Yeah, it's just been too much utility played. Poison in a really great position, though. First contact for sure. That's unless maybe if Mitch gets spotted and the spike is still in there. 40 seconds roughly remaining, so there's time to play with. They could even cancel here. They can go quiet and force Sentinels to rotate, but here we go, straight intense to the Empress, getting a bunch of kills. It's actually 6, picking up 3 so far. Employees respond in any kind of way. It's 2 versus 2. Dapper will be there. Round goes the way of Sentinels, and we got 7-0.
That's absolutely brilliant coming through there just to the pinch setup between, you had Sick from one side, Tens on the other, and you just wait for that barrier orb to fade away, and, well, hey, you dismiss, you kind of use that Reyna ability just to kind of finagle with them a little bit and get them into a position to kind of bait and switch each other from opposite angles. Beautiful stuff coming through. Small tech pause so far, but hey, we got to get to the conversation point here of Cloud9 Blue coming up empty so far on these attacks, and this is where they've largely been, I mean, I'll be honest, pretty successful. Their attacks when we saw them play on maps like Haven have been really, really good, and we're not seeing it really come through here. Those executes that we were kind of watching over and kind of crediting the polish, not nearly as strong on a map that, again, both teams largely unfamiliar with when it comes to Stage 2.
I'm looking at this defensive setup from Sentinels, and really you have Viper basically locking out all of A. Got a one-way smoke on the box over towards short. The very typical toxin screen going all the way in towards showers as well. So if you don't want to be playing in towards that, you're going to B. But what happens at B is Om's got all the stars there. You see the paint shells kill from Sick, by the way. That was actually through the teleporter. So catching everybody in Hookah. I mean, we're just lobbing as much util as we can to Hookah. Whether that be gravity well, slow orbs, you name it. Combo that up with the paint shells, and that's going to give you free kills. So it's been hard for Cloud9 to go either side. A is difficult because of Vapor. B is difficult because of Zoms on the Astra. And really, both sides are just impenetrable.
It's just interesting. There are so many questions, and I think that people are probably considering and theory crafting in their mind when it comes to the composition difference that we see from both teams. I mean, the first and foremost is the fact that we're seeing Yoru in North America for what has largely been the first time through major squads overall in North America. And I would say so far, we haven't really seen a lot of success off of. You see what he's trying to do, though, right? I mean, it looks like Cloud9 Blue are just trying to pull resources as much as possible off of using things like the fake out, throw some numbers over towards A, and then use the gate crash to go right back over to B quickly. And they're trying to this spread Sentinels thin and almost over-rotate them. But that said, Shazam has been so good over towards this B side, essentially single-handedly reading the information and then calling for the adequate resources required to hold.
I don't think the fake out's really going to be enough. I mean, at this stage, It's like every single fake out that's been played, it's so obvious. I mean, Sentinels aren't going to fall for it. They see the footsteps come across. They're like, yep, yeah, you're playing Yori. We get it. We understand. We're also showing now why Yori just doesn't get played by anyone except now. I mean, the only other team notably that played Yori to me, at least in North America, has been NRG. That was maybe even a while ago now as well. So it's not been the best run for Euro so far, just overall in the competitive scene, unless you're looking at Europe, rather.
This is so much information off of this tag from Shazam, although the counter will be there from the Owl drone offensively. Poise trying to make an early call, but 10 still from this back angle. In the defensive side, its screens has been free. The gravity well comes through. You thought Psalms maybe gets a lineup, but
the dismiss
still finds one. The dismiss is able to keep one alive. 10's retakes the fight. Now the overheal. Floppy stuck in a corner, nowhere to go. And Sentinels, they might need to reconsider why this map is not in their pool and played more often. This defense has been convincing, largely from 10s and Sick. Already between them, they're 25-5 combined.
And that's the thing as well, because usually, if Sentinels kind of struggle, one of them will struggle, and then, Sick might put everyone in his backpack, or 10s will be playing the Jet, and he's carrying with the, the Blaze Storm or anything else, and Sick's kind of taking a bit more of a backseat. When you have both Sick and 10s online together at the same time, and they're neck and neck in frags, and both mega impact, and, they've been playing across different sites as well. How many first frags has 10s had so far? And you can't trade him because he just dismisses away. And usually, okay, if Rainers don't perform well, they're not going to get the dismisses. You will get the frags. But here, Kent's on fire.
Well, now Cloud9 back on the pistols with just Zeta on an SMG. Shazam again, can read the information, and he's quick to throw out utility if required. The help is just so quick to get here.
Oh, what?
Leaf will find a one-tap just as the Nebula was starting to envelop this front end of Hookah. And now Sick has rotated in, and Leaf actually is able to find another, so now the flash comes through. Boyd's on the way forward. Nice one-tap here, and looking good for a Thrifty, but Dapper is in the way, finds 3. Leaf does the same. Showstopper comes right through, 10's able to respond. Now the dismiss gets the information on Floppy, wants to take the angle, even jump shotting with the classic, maybe just to find the last shot. Clear comes through, but Floppy peeks wide, and the Thrifty's good from Cloud9 to get on the board for the first time.
I mean, that looked like, you know, for a while you're thinking the Thrifty's happening, Cloud9 to get on the board. Dapper gets 3 kills. What on earth is that? 10's will completely shut down Leaf's Showstopper. It comes down to a 1v1, you're thinking, this is happening. This is going to be Sentinels clutching up really, really hard. And Leaf opens things up beautifully. I mean, look at these taps. Poise is all adding to the mix. Zoms, I think, was even stunned up, but it comes down to Floppy finding just the timing. 10's tries to throw out the lair, and Floppy up to collect the headshot. So, Sentinels, they will finally drop that round. Floppy, you can really thank him for that one for C9. It nearly goes back the way of Sentinels again. Viper Spit being played in. And once more, Cloud9, they're thinking, maybe A is just not it.
Yeah, it's just going to be so tough, you feel like, to hit this just from showers, especially with the toxic screen that's going to be cutting showers in half. Well, Dimensional Rift will be used, and, well, they will see Dapper inside. The Snake Bite comes down, though, and Dapper still is able to find first blood, so that's a full ultimate use for Poise. He's not going to see too much with it. Goes immediately back to the gate crash to get safe, and it does technically bait out this Showstopper from 6. So he's not going to find anything with this, but numbers still prevailing for Sentinel's defense in a 5v4.
And we're just training ultimate for ultimate here.
Yeah.
The Viper's been gone, though. Actually, it might be, because you had Dapper kind of leave for a little bit, so... Yeah, the Viper Spit has fallen at this stage. That's not bad for Cloud9 at all. Poise does go down to 10's, and once more dismisses away. Sentinels are here. Cloud9 Blue trying to commit to this one. Starting to lose a bit of time, and they can't walk into sight at all. They can't even plant. All their members are dead. It's just down to Floppy. With a couple of stars. 1 versus 4, not really looking the best.
Just winning their ones. Sentinels time and time again. Dapper for 1, 10's for 1. And again, it's just every single time you start to see Cloud9 getting the legs to go for an execute. And to be fair, their timing has been pretty solid when it comes to hitting with at least 3 or more members into the face of 1 or 2 Sentinels defenders. They're still just not coming on top of the trades. So Sentinels find themselves now up 9-1. The economy goes right back down the drain for Cloud9 Blue. And well, you were kind of framing up the anticipated number you're shooting for here for Cloud9 off of the offensive half. It's going to dwindle below your expectations here, Avril.
I mean, really hoping for the best. I think 4 would have been good for Cloud9. Now you're kind of just hoping for the 3 and maybe 2 just because they're on pistols. They would have to enter another Thrifty. Would have to have another Thrifty win. They got that. It's the gun rounds that they're currently not winning. Revealed by our drones. Getting shocked out as well. Gate crash is pretty deep though. Poise is in. Poise wants to get really aggro.
He could blow this play up. I mean, nobody knows that he's in this position. Zom's checking. He does get sideswiped, but you still have these defense members with weapons over through long. Sick will find 1 elimination on his re-entrance from the front. Poise trying to respond, not going to do it. So the trades are decent for Cloud9 Blue. Weapons will be collected just for Mitch for now, who does have the ability to use a resurrection if required, but not an opportunity to use it just based on where his friends have perished.
Cosmic Divide comes down, but Dapper's beating the timing, so Dapper's actually in front of the Cosmic Divide, can come through from Labs, and he's going to get taken down by Mitch, the only member of Cloud9 that actually had a gun. We'll take down Dapper on the flank. Sick now on his lonesome, 1 versus 3. Now Mitch is quite low. Doesn't look like he's got a heal just yet, so Mitch still on 16. No chance for a res on this side of the map. Both bodies of Cloud9 are over towards B, so Sick. Can we isolate some 1v1s? First up towards the right is going to be Floppy. Angles there.
He does get the
check.
check.
To get this one. He needs to get this.
Second blast pack coming out, but help has arrived, even though Sick finds 1. Mitch there for the assistance, and a Thrifty comes by. That's the second round that they've been able to win. Both of them off of Thrifties so far. So just to kind of counter my initial point, talking about Cloud9 Blue doing so well with their economy throughout the upper bracket run that they put together, that has not been the case so far here on their offense. It's been 2 Thrifty rounds to get them on the scoreboard.
I'll say for that particular round as well, it's one of the few times the Sentinels don't have full hookah control. Poise obviously making an aggressive play with the gate crash working out, and was for Sentinels had no idea. So this is the part of Euro's kit that is actually working so far for Cloud9, where, you know, that's the first time I think Poise has really made a play like that. And he's been backside before, but that was off-dimensional rift, not the gate crash. A couple of members from Sentinels, in fact, quite a few, trying to walk down, finding the timing to Zeta. They thought that was safe because the slow orb, but it's not. I mean, Mitch slows long, and still you have Sentinels walking down.
Mitch will try to go right into the resurrection. Shazam clearing out through Hookah, trying to get this Understeer to find anything. Dapper flash, but finds elimination before the effect largely takes away his vision. Now up to Zoms. We'll see players crossing, and does catch Floppy just before they can make way into the teleporter. So it will be a 2v3 situation. Spike an opportunity to be planted here, but the gravity well gets used at the absolute perfect time from Zoms. Mitch now taken down just to 23 HP. Well, he's actually been decayed, so an opportunity to regenerate some of that health. And it's a 1v2 now as he finds the first on the Dapper. And yep, I was just about to say the TP is free for him to use, and that's exactly what will happen. Gravity well will lock him in place for a little bit, but he should still be to get this spike planted.
See how much heal he can get. The problem is he's not going to plant here, doesn't trust the timing. We'll get the time of the Zombs. Maybe that's more important, getting the kill for the 1v1.
30 seconds left.
And possibly another TP. Ring around the rose. We go, and Sick finds the angle. No! Oh, this time, Mitch. Can't go through a TP a second time in a row. Just got to plant, my friend, but... what an angle, Sick. Having a bar of it.
Oh, man. Teasing with teleporters featuring Mitch. And, you know, there's so many rounds early on where Cloud9, you think that they have the opportunity to lock things down. This round in particular was looking really good for Cloud9. You get the spike planted, you're able to get a couple of even trades, and your post plant, which you try to lock through long, just gets completely imploded. It's just so surprising to see, because that's not something that we've really witnessed from Cloud9 whatsoever throughout their upper bracket run so far, and maybe a bit of a product of playing around with the compositions a touch, and the fact that we haven't seen them play on Bind yet, so who knows?
It's only been like 2 times, I believe, that Cloud9 have actually planted at round number 1 on the pistol in the round 3. Beyond that, it's all come down to frags. He's down early again. His first death stat's not going to be looking great today. Ken's just walking on through. This pistol's already looking pretty fire. Zeta, though, has something to say about it. 2 kills.
And Floppy's recovered Hookah all of a sudden. Mitch is trying to work his way over. The doors closed at a perfect moment for Zeta as he found himself the 2 eliminations to get us to a 3v3. Dapper trying to make sure that Hookah stays contested by way of utility will allow the rest of his members to move on forward and likely get a spike planted. And they will try to plant this on the back side of the site. So Cloud9 still forced to find a full retake. And even beyond that, look how far out Dapper is playing. He's all the way in the defensive spawn, making sure that there are no other players that are rotating.
We've swapped sides. This is like Sentinels are defending again. We really, you know, gone the other way just yet. Sentinels get a defend B. Spike's been planted their way. Stick is quite low, though. There's been a couple of frags going both sides. That's just a 1v2, but 6 on 4 HP.
And Floppy does get tagged up. He was on 100 health, but the shots from the backside from Dapper make this about an even fight. Health pool wise and Sick just around the back. Never expected. Floppy falls, and Sentinels, they take both pistols here on Bind.
And that might be, you know, nail in the coffin for Cloud9. You know, for any chance of Cloud9 making a comeback, and a 2-10 comeback is just very difficult. And that's an understatement, really. You don't normally see a 2-10 comeback. They would be required to win the pistol to then go towards the anti-eco and then further snowball. But here, with 11 found, both pistols going the way of Sentinels. Is this going to be a force maybe coming through for Cloud9? Yeah, it is. They have to, I mean, they know there's not a lot of rounds left to play. Could this screw them economy-wise? Sure, but if there's any chance to make a comeback, you can't allow Sentinels to just get 12, so you must force.
Early toggle of positioning over through showers, in which actually the Yoru of Poise is going to come from behind this. Zeta finds one, Shazam responds, but overall, the aggressive defensive play through showers is successful for Cloud9 to get early numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Tan's got pinched there, and Shazam as well, trying to rescue the situation, gets killed. They only trade Poise. And for what is a force fly on Cloud9, that's pretty decent to get numbers in their favor. Good tag, and Zeta do anything about it, though. Has to get Sick down first, doesn't realize it's there. Sick is already there. So the double play from Sentinels will recover 1 kill. Now it's back to a 3v3.
Massive trade for Sentinel. Still a lot of time to work with as well, which I think is the key. Also keep in mind where this toxic screen is positioned for this potential offensive hit over towards A. You've got Mitch trying to watch this with a Marshall. Star will actually take care of that as the Nebula will block his line of sight. Screen goes down, Boombot goes out. Zombs moves forward. Not going to find too much with this. Floppy holding outside of Lamps. Will find one. Will get himself a second. That's the spike carrier down. And the last hope is a 5 health member of Dapper who's still trying to rotate over.
Zoms was hoping nobody was hiding around the exit of Lamps, and unfortunately there was. So Floppy with the double kill there, Leaf to clean up the third, and Cloud9 will hang on towards A. They will hold on. The hopes for bind. And this is where you're going to see Sentinels eco. So opportunity for Cloud9 to start getting a move on with this economy. They can get 4 here, take care of Sentinels on their buy round. Suddenly Cloud9 are interaction. But this really starts for me where Cloud9 on that last round get aggressive on towards 10s. They do the shower pinch. They get a player advantage. They trade Poise for 2. Have a 4v3. They might drop 1. They still hold on towards A, and that's important.
It's still a dicey round here from Cloud9 Blues POV, and aggression is actually going to come through once more for their defense. One of the things we largely saw from them in their prior maps was the fact that they love to kind of hit the extremities of the map quickly, but this time it's largely shut down by Sentinels. Sheriff's lighting things up. Zeta kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here, but Floppy will rotate onto the site to hopefully give him a bit of assistance, and well, he's actually feeling confident enough to even pull up the Aldrum, but immediately cancels it as Tens finds one more connection through Hookah, and that leads to numbers now for Sentinels in a 4v2.
It's going to come down to Mitch, who hasn't rotated over towards B. He's able to stay over on this side, misses the headshot. They know he's there now. There's a wall available. What can you do with it? Toxin Screen's making this a lot more difficult. This is not the ideal weapon. Shazam's on his way over. Should be able to find this kill. With only 1 player remaining, Zeta has to be the hero. 1 versus 4 with the Spectre, and Sentinels for what was around. They only came in with 1 gun. That's Spectre for second. 4 pistols. I mean, they're on a roll here. Sentinels can take 12.
Zeta's going to be tested early. Finds the first cleanly as well, mind you. Does he expect a second? Not as much. Dapper with the frenzy, holds down the trigger, finds the kill, and puts Sentinels on their first map point. Get best of 5, no map advantages or anything of the nature. It is just first purely to 3. And Sentinels darn close to being the first one on the board.
Well, good news for Cloud9 is they can get guns here. They're not going to get full armor. There's going to be missing utility across the board as well, but this is the best they can hope for. Poise onto the Bucky. Poise has had a rough run so far on this Yoru, and I mean, that's going to have to be sent straight back to the lab, and you'd love to see Yoru come into the meta where he's useful, but just currently not the pick, man, not the play. So, Cloud9, can there be any recovery? We're expecting Sentinels here to really take down Bind, and after this, it'll be Cloud9 thinking, maybe we shouldn't have gone to Bind, but that'll be in the past. Gate crashes all the way into the towards elbow, so you can see Poise get aggressive over to Hookah, and then maybe TP away.
This utility coming out of Sick is tickling the Cloud9 defenders, but Mitch not interested in tickles, because comes through for the headshot, finding first blood for Cloud9. Still staying a touch aggressive. Good information off the recon bolt that Shazam is still lingering towards the outsides. Zoms. Oh, actually, he finds one, grabs the second incredibly. He was actually trying to still do a little bit of star dancing going through. Picking up his utility, but gets the gun up in just the nick of time, finds a couple eliminations, and now Sentinels on their way through Hookah, but they have to get through Floppy. They will spend 1 member to do that. 2v2 we go. Plant should be good.
Hunt is very available though, so can that be used? There it is, Zeta trying to stop the plant. We'll get a tag, a second gun. It's got to get the kill, and that's going to be Spike on the floor. That opens up the round entirely for Cloud9. The fact that Zeta gets a timing on this Hunter's Fury, having built it up over the past couple of rounds, Dapper now, does he have the confidence to plant this one? He has no idea where Cloud9 is. He's just got to go for this one. And it's going to be able to get it down in the sense where Cloud9 aren't in position to stop him anymore. With the Viper's pit being played, this 1 versus 2 from Dapper is certainly possible.
He's going to go the long way around. You see that smoke integrity? Halfway down. Both players to 1 HP off the decay. And he's completely wrapped. He's going to find 1 for free. Where's the last? Not able to keep the pit up, so Mitch will get a little bit of regen. Toggles for the spike. Dapper sees his ponytail, but not going to make a difference. Mitch still clutches things up. 3 kills in the round for him, and Cloud9 still on the map.
And part of me thinks, could Dapper have just touched the Viper Spit a little bit, keep the integrity up? Because he gets Zeta down. But with Mitch inside, I mean, he'd still be on 1 HP. The Viper Spit goes down, and Mitch starts healing back the decay, and at that point, if he's got enough HP, there's no way for Dapper to one-shot him. and Dapper would have to find that headshot. Couldn't quite hit it. Mitch saves the day in that last 1v1. Gets some tempo res on the Zeta as well, just to keep the gun in hand, which is important for Cloud9 because their money situation is still not the best. So Sentinels nearly closed out the map on that round. It's going to get delayed at least a little bit longer. Cloud9 still trailing by 8 rounds, so not going to call the Cloud9 comeback yet. They have a lot to play through before that conversation gets started.
Leaf made vulnerable. That'll be good for a first blood for Sentinel. Still trying to push through this. Flash comes through, but Tens is able to stay safe from that. Zombs as well, able to keep things even on the trades. One more flash out. But Sick is going to be able to pull out the showstopper to get the instant elimination. Even the Nova Pulse coming down, trying to slow things up, but Floppy will find themselves in a 1v multiple situation, trying to hold on to the site. Mitch, similarly so, on the opposite angle towards A, will be trusted to try to do something individually. Sentinels have hit the brakes for a time, but here comes their next approach, and it will be fully on towards B, with the only exception being Dapper, who's going to lurk around through A.
Now, Floppy saved rounds before. I mean, you see the play that he made over towards A into Lamps previously. Floppy can definitely be capable of turning numbers around. Cosmic Divider's available, but they need more positioning at this point. That Astra Ultimate's not going to help them at all. C9 Mitch has revealed his positioning, but I think Floppy is still unknown.
There's the divide, comes through. Mitch has no idea where he's being tagged up from. It's Tapper from behind. Looking for the trade with the Bulldog is Floppy, but down to 11 HP. Here comes the trade. Sick finds it, no problem.
Is there going to be an Astra for Cloud9? Nope, not today. Zombs don't stay on that one. So as far as Cloud9 goes, their composition pretty much identical here. In fact, incredibly identical. Haven for the side of Sentinels. Sick coming through on the Phoenix. So everything else for Sentinels is the same as what they usually play. Opening gravity wall, stop the initial push coming through from Sentinels, at least slow it down in terms of timing.
Something else to keep in mind from Cloud9 Blue. No Jet, but beyond that, they are not quick to play an operator at all. We've only seen a couple of times where Mitch has been the one to pick up that operator, so that would have to happen again with him on the Sentinel. First couple of shots from Tens and Sick are going to be great for first 2 kills. Data also tagged down low. Zombs will convert first 3 kills, favoring Sentinels. Really solid hold once more, this time over at A.
We can go over towards C because you see how far Mitch is in. He might get a time with the Dapper has been spotted. Don't know if he can win this duel. C is still open though at this stage. Floppy knows garage is clean. They got to make their way onto the C site itself. Mitch is just trying to delay Floppy on 44 HP, and like he's got a little bit of time to plant. 2 versus 5 though. They need to find these frags.
And it comes down to, can Mitch find the first kill? You have a long flank coming through pretty darn quickly. Mitch does find one, but it's immediately traded. Now it's down to Floppy. He gets revealed. Shazam able to follow up with the easy double. And of course, the defuse, no problem. Sentinels stay perfect through pistols so far. How about that? 3-0.
Just getting back to that operator conversation as well. When Mitch has played Cypher, we actually really haven't seen him pick up the operator, at least when I checked. So we're not really expecting Cloud9 to be opping just yet, anytime soon. Tens on the Sentinel side, though, will be doing that eventually. Like I said as well, 3 pistols now going the way of Sentinels, which means 3 anti-ecos likely as well. Cloud9 will be at an 0-2 deficit in just a moment, unless they can do some more damage. I mean, Cloud9 did win some thrifty, so if they can get some of these Sheriff taps again, that would be them opening up the round. Poise was certainly part of that. He's on the Reyna now. 3 Sheriffs being brought up.
Player stack initially over towards C long. Leaf earns himself an ultimate orb, and then everyone backs away. So playing for a little bit of control here over the power of getting this showstopper maybe online sooner rather than later. Seems to be the focus, at least for now, for Cloud9 Blue. Keep an eye on this Sentinels push through long, though. Zombs is already up close to lobby. We'll hear one. That's Mitch in the corner. He's also revealed. Here comes the next contestant. Finds the first. Needs more than that, though. Gets the second. Mitch will find the response, but it comes at a steep cost. Shazam, second one to peek. Does get tagged up heavily. Meanwhile, Leaf on the site has opened the door. That'll be great overall for Cloud9 as they now have some control. And as Zeta picks up the Fallen Spectre, he converts onto Dapper, leaving things to Sick for a 1v3.
I mean, this is just all of Cloud9 walking up over towards A, and they'll find the 2 kills required. Sick will at least return one versus 2. Zeta's on low HP. You can find the wall back. There it is. Zeta straight through the wall. The heal is still available. Blaze coming up. So maybe this is still doable for Sick. You see a plant though? No, Mitch has got the angle. Straight away into heaven. Down he goes. So part of that also for me comes down to the fact that Zombs had no stars placed over in A lobby. He had 1 star down on C long, and that was it. And I'm sitting there thinking, look, if there was a star here, you could gravity well. If you're going to be pushing up into Cubby very aggressively into A long, and then you play for a star where you gravity well, you know, to have players pulled into your line of sight, or just to at least mess up the movement of the Cloud9 players. I could see Zombs getting like 3 kills, maybe even more, something like that. He's gonna be able to get a couple, drop the spike, but aside from that, you give away 1 spec inside of Cloud9, allow them for the possibility of winning this clutch, or winning this thrifty rather. They'll get that down to 1v1 right towards the end. Now 1-on-1 apiece. It's pistols online for Sentinels, straight into Garage, and Leaf will open things up.
Oh, what a leer that is. As soon as the hot hands had dissipated, Cloud9 on the approach. It's 2-for-1 exchange. Next player up is TenZ, gets taken down by Poise cleanly with a headshot. That'll lead towards Cloud9 getting a free plant here on C, and a conversation about how do you want to try to set up a 2v4 retake in the mix here for Sentinels on just pistol upgrades. Aldrone saved and will clear out the defensive entrance into C itself. Dom's gonna find the kill, but it's before, or pardon me, after that Shazam falls. So now it is just down to Zombs. Finds another, but Poise, who pushed through with the Aldrone, will find their 3rd kill in the round. And that'll be Cloud9 Blue, as expected, taking the 3rd.
And Poise brought up a rifle in that round as well. In fact, you know, a lot of Cloud9 did, to be fair with you. Operate online now for TenZ. And very important, by the way, you know, if we can look a couple rounds back, even still, very important that Cloud9 do win that 2nd round, because they failed to win 3 pistols in a row. You got to get something out of this. You can't just also give away 3 anti-ecos for them to win at least 1. Now convert into this round 3. Delay Sentinels buy round until this 4th round. But as we said, you know, TenZ on the operator, it's not going to get matched by Cloud9, especially not on this attack. TenZ has got the line over towards A. The gravity well is going to help the timing as well. So at this point, I don't know if Cloud9 are going to be ready for that. They're not going A just yet, though, so they won't discover the operator until a little bit later on.
Yeah, this will be the really first test to see how Cloud9 are going to want to respond to this operator once they know that it is in the field. You see that Sentinels are starting to rotate their defense around a touch. Sick is going to get a lot of damage off onto Leaf mid-map, but can't make good for elimination, so things stay 5v5. Opportunity may be starting to brew for Cloud9 to try to work their way into B. The Aldrone will scout to see if anyone is actually inside this site. It'll come away with no information whatsoever. Now the dark cover is also coming out to block the entryways. The spike is not a part of this play as of yet. Run it back will be toggled. So Sick trying to make a play maybe. And here comes his go call. He's going to work his way in, not see anything, as Poise has eluded it completely. That will allow him a chance to play for Lurking Girl, but the offense is making its way on over. Showstopper out. It will not find anything, though, as Sentinels take the first 2 eliminations. Hunter's Fury is also a part of this play. Mitch with the spike has never worked his way on yet, and as Poise eventually gets revealed on the flank, he gets dealt with, leaving things to Floppy and Mitch. This would be a 2v4, now down to a 2v3.
Smoke comes on just in time to block out TenZ's LOS there. Dapper holds on for a long time. There it is. Even dashing in. Classic at the ready, and that's TenZ, baby. 2 rounds now for Sentinels, and it comes down to Dapper. That's the first thing I'm going to talk about here, because Dapper off the back of working through the gravity well, used by Zombs, completely ruins Leaf. And I think Leaf's ultimately there in the showstopper misses as well, so a little bit unfortunate there for Cloud9. I was going to say, maybe B could be the play. You actually saw, you know, how aggressive C9 were thinking about making their way on towards B. And, I mean, versus an operator, not that they knew that it was online, but versus an operator, that would have been pretty good. Lost confidence after the running back got popped by Sick, who actually holds on to it for a while, didn't just run through. Just kind of scaring Cloud9 away, forcing the back out, forcing the cold feet on them. Shift over towards C. It's just Dapper, and he actually gets a frag, which is so insane.
Bolt's gonna be traded. Zombs wants to get aggressive. Finds the first, also deletes the boombot, but feels like that's enough. Backs away. TenZ still up. Has the dash. Takes the 2nd shot. Finds it versus Leaf in a very early 5v3 situation favoring Sentinels. No flank play coming through, at least not from Sentinels POV. So you're looking at Mitch. He's lurking mid-map. There is a trap wire in his way from getting into the B site specifically. And as he deletes it, he makes his play forward. He's going to have to find something here. It's going to be a 1v1 with Dapper, in which doesn't barely connect a single shot. So Poise moving quickly, trying to rotate in. Trapwire revealing it. Now Sentinels quick on the rotation, even the gravity well being spent. Dapper able to find the easy shot. Trade there for Zeta, who keeps the play alive by finding a 2nd.
Honestly, that gravity well has given Dapper kill after kill after kill at that exact same spot. Trapwire even catching Poise as well, so Poise is really just landing in all the util here. Zeta by himself, 1 versus 3. Doesn't have a lot to work with, and TenZ will shut him down. And pretty simple retake here coming through from Sentinels. They get the opening 2 picks over towards A. It's a 5v3. It's Cloud9 hoping for the best here, getting whatever kills they can, getting a plant down. And after that round 2 heroic play from Cloud9 to be able to pick up that, what would have been anti-eco round for Sentinels, it's been a bit more of a slowdown now. Now Sentinels are a little bit more online. And honestly, Dapper's just been solid. 2 kills this round.
Yeah, and it's just still one of those things that this puts Cloud9 back onto an eco. And that's the great news for Sentinels. You got to come out hot. You got to make sure that Cloud9 does not just snowball their way through this map early, which is something they've done throughout the majority of this tournament so far. So good on them. And I think the question will still continue to stand. What is going to be the response for TenZ on this operator? Is it going to have to be a heavy use of commitment and utility or what? Because there's not going to be the ability to go snipe v snipe versus him.
So what's happening here is you actually see Floppy going pretty deep over towards A. There's 3 players. He might get spotted by the Owl drone. Could be contact over towards C as well. Zeta's thinking about will get the kill. That's with the frenzy as well. That's possibly a free gun. TenZ's been traded. This is going well for Cloud9, and they still have... Well, they had the hero rifle on the Poise. That's been given over now, plus a couple of extra guns. We talked about maybe the operator wasn't going to get played by Cloud9, but how about picking up one for free? In TenZ's, or rather in Leaf's hand now.
It starts with Dapper trying to use that cyber cage to get out. You saw him trying to activate it, but instead he gets onto the ultimate orb because he's so darn close to it, so he can't activate that cyber cage, and that's what leads to him in a very awkward position. Cosmic Divide coming through. Leaf.
Oh, Leaf.
Operator in hand, but misses the shot. Sick. Not going to find anything, though. He had an angle onto Leaf, you thought, but as Mitch is able to put his weight around the ring, he finds the first kill. Zeta confirms the final. It's a Thrifty coming through to keep things tied square at 3.
I gotta say, you know, like, so many of these rounds that Cloud9 have won have been Thrifties. Like, I want to say the majority of them over the last 2 maps, and there it is, like you said. That first kill from Zeta is so clutch, but even that trade that happened over towards Garage is so insane as well. So this is absolutely the type of round that Cloud9 need, and I thought maybe it's possible, but only because Poise enters with a hero rifle with the possibility of an Empress, and maybe that's where they play through. I don't know that it was going to be Zeta being the hero here, and just getting the initial kill to Dapper like that really opens things up.
So how much do you credit Zeta, and how much do you credit the ultimate orb placement? Making things a little
column
bit...
A, but a column B.
That's exactly right. So this all of a sudden turns the economical advantage around, and Leaf will carry this operator into battle. Cloud9 working their way largely into C. Leers are through. Poise also committing into the Empress. The gravity well slows things down. And Leaf, he actually dives right on in, but the shots are not great. He's going to get the slice and dice in. Floppy's able to find 2 behind it. Oh boy, a little bit of comical relief, but Sentinels are able to respond in part. And how about that from Shazam? Does take down Mitch through the Radianite box. That'll be the spike on the ground. The Poise still in the Empress, able to respond. Zom's up close though. Has anyone read that he's already on the site? They know where the spike is. So as soon as he hears a sound cue, maybe there's a chance for him to get a timing on a peek and turn this into a 1v1. There's the first cue coming through. Finds the shots, gets the headshot, but it's Poise. Still in Empress mode, finding the final kill, and Cloud9 take their 2nd round in a row.
I was actually going to say, man, Zoms can just play the timer here. There's been no plant just yet. He doesn't need to reveal his positioning. He can wait for timing. When Cloud9 plant, then he thinks about swinging. But Cloud9 know that as well, so the mind game here is for Cloud9, just fake a plant, force Zoms to peek, and then you have 2 plays available for the trade. So C9 will collect it and take the lead once more. Well, take the lead in general here. TenZ's operator, or rather, was TenZ's operator, then into the hands of Leaf, and now it's nobody's hands, dropped entirely. 1 HP knife kill from Leaf will be one of the highlights of this map so far. Shock Dart's clearing out a garage, but otherwise there's a lot of plays in there, so it's not really cleared out, despite kind of forcing Sick back.
Oh, though, they do expect that there's a player close in the corner. Curveball will come through. Sick will use that for a double of his own. And Sentinels will come out the victors of the early engagement. 4v3 early, and the neural theft also spent from Dapper.
TenZ gets reminded that the Bucky did get nerfed, but other than that, Sentinels will still get the favorable trade of the 1-2. Now shifting over towards the B side, A side of things, rather, it's going to come down to Zom. Shazam's arrived as well. Zom swinging for the 1. Shazam, though, waiting for the reinforcements.
Mitch does still have the spike, wants to still get this plant off. Hunter's Fury will come out to deny. Sick up top, looking for some clearance. Does not see anything on the backside of the site, and the 3rd dart out of the Hunter's Fury nearly connects onto Mitch. That would have put him on critical HP. Spike goes down. Sick waiting. The rest of the retake will have to be either dropping out of heaven or coming from behind. Shazam finds the first. Mitch trying to respond. Deals with the run it back. Looking for one more in the corner, but it's Shazam the double up. And Sentinels back on the board as they tie things all up even at 4.
Zayden needed to get that kill. He's starting to get a bit impatient. I think he's potentially believing that his time is limited. If this player's dropping out of heaven as well, might be in trouble. Thought he had a time with the Shazam, but unfortunately didn't. The Shazam will go up for 2 kills on that retake. And like I said, take Sentinels up to 4 and 4 apiece. That's been a competitive map. I mean, back in the day, you'd think that Sentinels, especially on Haven, this would be very one-sided for them. But again, this tournament's been a bit more 50-50, and 50-50 so far has been how the rounds have gone. Even frags across the ball. There's not anyone really underperforming or overperforming here. I mean, Zombs has actually done quite a lot, to be fair.
Very similar setup here from Sentinels. Hot hands early. Star also down, but Tens this time playing with some elevation. That's the only unexpected part. And now Sick using the curveball to push forward. Hunter's Fury is going to try to flush both these members out, but it comes a little bit wide. Doesn't really fully tag up anybody. And again, early engagements favoring Sentinels. 5v3 situation and a lot of time to work with, but not a lot of space to work with if you're Cloud9 Blue.
I mean, Sick really wanted to go through the garage doors there, but was pushed back by the Hunter's Fury. Good team play by Zombs to put down the gravity well to stop anybody from Cloud9 Poises, who I'm talking about here, from pushing in to maybe collect the kill into Sick and trade things over. But 5-3 so far. And it's a couple times now where Sentinels do something aggressive. To get the early player advantage, it will come down to Cloud9 to try and make these trades happen. 3 versus 2 over towards A. Should be a late rotate. No one from Sentinels is rotating early. Back down to Zombs and Shazam. They've been pretty strong on this defense so far, especially Zombs, who's had multiple kills. Straight away onto 1.
Zombs finding 1 is great. Shock Dart comes through, making life a little bit easier, but the dismiss will keep the player alive. Poised, responding, eventually gets the second, and all the overheal comes in. Spike will be collected. Poised trying to commit for it. Long flank coming around the back from Tens. Quickly making its way on for retake, though, is Sick. He finds the easy elimination. And Sentinels, now they respond with 2 rounds in a row, putting themselves up 5-4.
Yeah, I mean, all that needs to happen for Sentinels there is they got to go 1 for 1, which they both do. Zombs and Shazam will both get a kill. Comes down to a 1 versus, 3. And even if Sick wasn't in position to instantly swing for the kill into Poise, they could have just waited for Tens was on the big flank and eventually suffocate Poise out. But no, Sick will just clean it up nice and easy, 5-4 now. And it's a combination of Sentinels getting early frags that are untraded straight away due to aggression from the defense, followed up by the fact that if Cloud9 actually want to try and execute into a site, the trades are still 1 for 1 anyway, so Cloud9 just can't get a player advantage, at least not on a lot of these rounds.
Standing ahead.
Look here, though. The Sentinels will not try to commit in towards the garage. It'll just be the 1 star trying to keep it safe. As Cloud9 are on an eco, they will make a decision to maybe even go over towards B. But look at the setup. There are so much utility waiting here. Trap wire, spy cam, stars, everything. Making their way on. Leap, not going to be able to get far enough forward. As you mentioned, Dapper holding over by the gong. Finds 1. Even the Hunter's Fury going to come through to make life difficult, and boy has it. Finding 2 kills from Shazam, leaving things all up the floppy. Not clean with the Sheriff. A flawless defensive round for Sentinels as they hit 6 first.
And that's an insane read from Sentinels as well, because Dapper doesn't play mid. He doesn't play B behind the gong. He plays over towards C. But this is where Sentinels looking at the economy, noticing, hey, it's not a lot of money for Cloud9. They're probably going to go eco here. Possibility of maybe 1 hero rifle, something like that. And where are you going to go, especially for Cloud9, when they haven't hit B at all? Cloud9 themselves are thinking, we haven't done B. We should try B. Try B with pistols. Take the range of the weapons down quite low. Sentinels are thinking the exact same thing, and they're already there. Dapper's behind Gonk. He gets to peek out, and C9 are not at all ready for that.
First is going to be popped. Going to get aggressive. Also the showstopper out for Leaf. They're clearing out the B side at the moment, but will Leaf find an opportunity to do anything with this? It's not going to find any eliminations. You're saying that the play is coming around to A, but the spike is actually being planted right on top of B. So the A control through the site in favor of Cloud9 Blue, but they're not able to find the eliminations. Zombs is going to take down the Empress of Poise. Leaf up top trying to change the angle. Nobody expected that, so we go to a 4v3 favoring Cloud9. Sentinels need to clear this player out, and they do so pretty darn quickly. So now it's just down to the retake. Tens from one side, Dapper and Sick were trying to play the other. Floppy in the back, waiting to see anything out of Tens. Dark cover still keeping him safe. Zeta gonna check, but gets caught. But Floppy's still able to get the trade. 1v2 situation for Dapper. Not a lot of time to play for with the defuse, and it's not gonna be possible. Just looking for eliminations at this point. Won't even grab any of those. Cloud9 Blue make it a 1-round half.
A really nice play for Cloud9 to go deep in towards A as well. I thought maybe they'll take the whole team over towards A. The showstopper will clear the entire link. Like you said, the smoke's down. They had all the setup happening on B already. And actually, this time I got to give the read over to Cloud9 because they went B. It failed on the eco. But Sentinels are not expecting that Cloud9 will go B twice in a row. So there it is, straight back on towards B. Clear out A link as well. Keep players in A link. You got to clear Poise. You got to clear Leaf. Leaf could have even delayed that further. Leaf actually goes for a bit of a swing. He could have just played Heaven, and whether he dies or not, just really slows down the retake from Sentinels. It's slow enough that it just doesn't happen. But here we go, straight into the next round. Zoms tries to get aggressive, and now finally Cloud9 are punishing some of these early picks, and they will have the player advantage 5v4.
Yeah, Sick was also trying to play a bit aggressive, just tag down low, but Tens with the operator. Now onto the knives, finds himself a second. Floppy will keep the numbers even as he is able to find a trade away. So a 3v3 situation, but Tens on these knives, you feel like they potentially be the key. A couple of them will miss though, and Leaf will punish. So now a 3v2, Shazam and Sick on absolutely critical HP. Sick will return back after the run it back to 100 health, but the spike over towards the C site means that this is going to be one heck of a rotation, and Shazam, is he going to expect a player deep in the defensive spawn? Might not even matter because both players are rotating through the B connecting link.
Contact.
Mitch about to see one. Oh, or does he? Just sees his shoulder. So now Floppy can turn his attention, but he's on 62 health. Sentinels are going to try to overwhelm this. Here comes the double peek. Floppy finds the first and able to grab the second. 4 in the round for Floppy. And we exit the first half at a deadlock tie at 6.
Yeah, I mean, we've been pretty deadlocked through the entire half so far. I mean, at one point, we're at 4-4. We have a 2-2. These teams are neck and neck, at least so far in that first half. Great plays by Cloud9 in terms of attempting to get on towards A. They get the opening frag onto Zoms. Doesn't look too good after that. Floppy has an Omen ultimate available from the Shadows being used to get all the way over towards C. And once again, it's players like Leaf that are delaying the rotation, delaying the retake from Sentinels. And then obviously Mitch could have had a timing as well. Mitch was in a great position to find any of the last couple of players that were going to get the retake on. And, my heart was skipping a beat for a second because Mitch nearly had the kill. I believe it was on the Sick. Doesn't quite get any of the kills on 2 players. Moving into Garrus, so unlucky in that regard. It comes down to Floppy to save the day. And he gets 4 kills total.
Aggression coming out from Cloud9 over through A. This is where the full stack of Sentinels are. Even trades for now. But do they expect Poise lingering through lobby? Dapper will be the one trying to hold the back end of this play through. Sentinels already onto the A site, but they're coming back to long. They're going to try to find a way to get this kill onto Poise. Also with them is Leaf, and the isolation is beautiful. Mitch able to keep things interesting as he finds 2. But even still, with all of that said, it's a 1v2 situation just down to Zeta for Cloud9's defense.
I mean, Mitch's flank there is really important because it brings the numbers down to at least workable for Zeta. The heal for Sick will put him back onto 60. Just still low enough for Zeta to maybe get a couple of shots in to confirm it. It's Tens has a lot of HP though, that's the big problem. Still has a couple of outdrafts available, and yeah, it's no utility for Zeta. Well, the Recon's back online, that will be played. You just expect pretty quickly. This is the only real advantage Zeta has. He would need to use it. He's revealed his position, missed the first couple of shots, and now the fight's on.
Doesn't get any information off the Recon bolt. This will be a really tough gunfight with the Frenzy against the Shields of Tens. First battle will come through, but it's actually Sick who stays behind to make sure things stay safe. 3 kills for Sick, and I believe also the plant. So yeah, he's going to be really close to earning a very early run it back, and we know that that is a key point of Sentinels executes, is to try to get information off of that run it back from Sick as soon as possible.
Yeah, so that's going to be, 4 pistols now for Sentinels. Tens as well, just tanking the bullets up. He had the armor, so as long as Sick doesn't go down, I mean, even Sick going down, there's actually not the worst because it helps him get more ultimate charges, so it's a little bit neither here or there. But 4 pistols in a row, and is Cloud9 going to be able to get another round 2 here? That would be very important, again, to slow down any of this economic snowball from Sentinels, which is what they've been able to do at least twice in a row and split. Couldn't quite get it done the first half of Haven, and in my opinion, that's part of what made it much more competitive. That's part of what got Cloud9 back in.
Similar look for Sentinels as far as the numbers heading over towards A. This time defensively, no one will actually be on the site for Cloud9 Blue. A lot of members still stacked in the middle of the map. And as they start to work their way over, the recon bolt will allow Sentinels to get on and likely get this spike planted sooner rather than later. No full flanks at all from Cloud9, so this retake will have to be from the front. Paint shells were used to try to keep default plant site safe, but it's actually Sick who plays it towards the back. The shock dart's also a touch late. But now here comes the attempt. Gravity Well gonna soak up a lot of these Cloud9 players, and no, it's an absolute slaughter. Put into a blender. Zeta, good luck. Not gonna do anything. Flawless execute from Sentinels.
Yeah, just wipe the floor there. I was actually thinking Sentinels are using a lot of util early here. See all the shocks going through. Blaze Wall's gone. Hot Hands is gone. But, you know, the more important util that's still remaining is Gravity Well. Like you said, just straight into the blender. Not a lot of hope there for the side of Cloud9. And there it is. It just completely ruins them, doesn't it? Even the one player that didn't technically make it past Gravity Well doesn't fare for any better. And that was Cloud9, Gamble stacking B, Mitch pushing down C, and they were hoping that Sentinel was going to walk in towards mid. Just doesn't happen. Now Cloud9, they're going to walk down mid, trying to get aggressive. That's a good flash from Sick, and Poise is caught out.
All drones will confirm information on both parties through the middle of the map. But you already have Hens moving aggressively onto the site, able to take down Floppy. The Gravity Well is actually a little bit against him there, but doesn't make much of a difference. Zeta's trying to hold down the trigger on the Odin, not going to find too much. With this Sick spamming in return, finds a double. There was that run it back coming through to find so much value. And everything is up to Mitch. He does find one isolated. Maybe a chance for a second, but no. Just as soon as he tries to get under the banister in the window, Sick finds his third kill, and Sentinels up now 9-6.
Yeah, this is going really poorly for Cloud9 now. And we talked about, hey, maybe could Cloud9 get that second round again? They can't even get the third round, sadly, and that's the one that's really important because they got the guns and it's starting to look a little bit more like Bind. You look at the first 3 rounds of Bind, pretty much exactly the same here. There's even the Odin online. That Odin, I believe, was actually bought up by Zeta on the defense. And Shazam's like, yeah, I'll get that at free upgrade. Why not? Use it on the offense, see what they can do with it. And how many times is the Gravity Well just going to find so much impact, not just on the defense, but also on the offense now as well? And there's no stat for it, but I would love to see just how many Gravity Well assists Zoms really has, because it feels like the Gravity Well impact has been super high.
Yeah, without question. Still, Cloud9 looking to get aggressive, denied by Dapper, even the recon below that. Pushing back more members. Neural Theft will be committed just to get a lay of the land. And with a spike that was dropped and still playing off of a late pickup through the middle of the map, that will now be collected and the move will be made over towards the C site. Even some stars being placed. Dapper making sure the rotation through B stays safe, finds himself his second. Mitch also tagged up in the play. Does get a trap wire to reveal one, but oh, actually the one tap is pretty solid, but Zoms is able to essentially line up 2 on the way through and then make it a third. Why not? Sentinels up 10-6. Must-win round coming up for Cloud9 Blue.
That was a nearly flawless there, except for the fact that 10s did go down, so Mitch will take a bit of tax on the eco. Again, it was just an eco, so I'm not expecting the most from Cloud9. This is the round, though, like I said, could be a must-win. In fact, it probably would be, because if they lose this one, we go to 11. Can Cloud9 then afford to eco? Probably not. I would expect they would have to force. So really, to avoid that situation, Cloud9, yeah, they kind of do have to win this one. They have the guns now. Shazam gets rid of the Odin, probably doesn't want to actually use that on offense. This defense needs to be really solid. 3 plays on A, that's a very aggressive paranoia. Can they swing in time, though?
All the 2 players that were trying to use that paranoia are in sewer, though. And the hit is largely coming through. Long first battle with Leaf. Tags up both players, but everything will reset. Boombot to keep it safe. There will not be a second challenge. And yeah, I was about to say, this is interesting because you thought that there was going to be a contest coming through through sewer, but all the utility coming out of Shazam actually pushes both those members out, making sure there is an exit for these Sentinels players that were caught through long.
Yeah, well played by Dapper. They had a cage available. I thought maybe they were going to get caught on the exit, but no. Shazam might be one catching, though. That's a free headshot. So, I mean, this is Sentinels heads up, just able to find and identify where Cloud9 are going to be able to come through from, knowing that, yeah, they're going to aggressively walk on through. Dapper's still around, by the way. It is 3v4, but Dapper could find a timing. Ken's already got Zeta down. And there it is, Dapper on the back end. They've cleaned him up just out of Floppy, 29 HP. And he has to do something this round. I mean, you can't afford to give this one away. It will be 11 for Sentinels, and Floppy has to do it all.
So many things were asked of the defense over towards C. You thought for a second that Mitch was going to get him just enough help to hold, but Tens blows everything up with the double on the entrance. Trapwire denied, but Floppy revealing his position. He's actually just going to play for a save. This is so heartbreaking. I mean, there's not a lot of opportunity in front of them. I mean, you're on 29 HP in a 1v3. The chances if you win this round are already pretty abysmal, but saving and putting yourself onto a 6-11 where your teammates are largely going to be on maybe some pistol upgrades, maybe an SMG if they can afford it at best, does not paint a very pretty picture.
They're going to let him have the gun as well. I thought maybe Sick was going to go for it. He's got the most HP, the highest chance of getting it with the flash as well. They got the money to play through. Like, yeah, even if Sentinels die here, they'll be fine. They have plenty of cash. And Floppy and C9B will be at least thankful for the one rifle they get to take through to the next round. I say they gotta play for it. They gotta buy up here. I mean, you eco, you play the hero rifle, you give Sentinels 12. Sentinels hit 12, your chance of winning this map get kind of pretty much blown out. So buy it what you can. Will be expected. A few members will be buying down to minimal, so they are gonna half buy this one. So there it is. It's gonna be the Floppy hero rifle. That has to be the gun that gets the job done, and you really feel bad for Cloud9 because their A aggression play could have worked, but the timing just wasn't quite there. Paranoia initially was good. The 2 players in sewers couldn't quite find any exits. Now we head into this round where a massive stack from Sentinels just pushing through the cage.
Yeah, they're just moving aggressively, trying to keep the pressure on Cloud9 Blue, but this is all just a fake. It's going to force members for Cloud9 Blue in the middle of the map to consider rotating, but as the execute gets stalled, now they're going to make their play through grass and maybe onto the flank. It's Dapper who's going to be responsible for watching this on your minimap off screen just a touch, and Cloud9 Blue are going to commit to playing this from behind. So pressure on the backside of this play. Shazam alleviates by finding the first blood. Floppy responds. That's the spike carrier also down. We're going to go 4v4. Floppy still holding his ground. Dapper, the next one to challenge, gets tested by Poise, but is equal to the task. And now Tens moves forward, finds the second elimination, and Sentinels will have a numbers advantage in the 3v2. But Zeta does keep things level with that trade through mid-window.
Mitch needs a gun. He can't get one. Mitch will be up now. One tap, one kill here would be beautiful. That trapwire might give him the advantage. It does not allow him to get the tap, though. So now it is just Zeta. Hunter's Fury hasn't been used yet. That would have been good. I mean, the Hunter's Fury would have prevented the plant, or at least slowed things down. Zeta could have been pushed, though, so it's maybe a good idea not to do it. 5 HP, finds a headshot onto Zombs. Can it be possible? No. Shazam will lock it down.
Brilliant patience from Shazam just to play that one off the plant as well. Call should have been there that Mitch was tagged up extremely low. Gives himself a real good look. But now map point for Sentinels. And the only real bit of good news here for Cloud9 is the fact that you do have a lot of ultimates banked, and if you can find one ultimate orb, the showstopper will be in play. But you've got a Hunter's Fury, you've got knives, and you've got a Cosmic Divide for Zom, so that can all be tempered in some way. It's going to be really difficult to try to find a read here of how Cloud9 take this. They need to get a first blood. That has to happen.
Now I think Zeta holding onto the Hunter's Fury is probably the right call. He didn't want to get pushed by Shazam. It would have killed him. Also, having ultimates available for this very important round is definitely the play. Tens nearly got the first blood again. We'll take down the Boombot. Has been spotted. A couple of players really trying to take him down. Tens has a dash, though, so he's fine.
I was going to have to use it. Updraft, just trying to stay away from the paint shell Semtex. Tag down to below 50 health, but Sick has made his way forward, and nobody expected this play whatsoever. Completely concealed the entire way. Now they'll run it back. In combination, the Recon Bolt not going to find any eliminations. Zeta on the flank from Durage, able to find one. Give him a second. Looking for the third, but it goes pinstripe into the kill feed. We've got ourselves a now 2v2 as Mitch holds on to one more. But everything turns on to Floppy. 1v2 to keep Cloud9 Blue alive. And Shazam with the spike is going to rotate over to plant over at C. Floppy maybe going to be tested, and he will. So the first one down, 1v1 with Shazam. Shots decent, but not good enough.
It's been Zeta on Sky, and now he's gone back to Breach, and Zeta Breach is kind of what he originally was playing on the team for quite some time before he moved over to Sova and moved over to Sky as part of that kind of info position. So this is going to be, like I said, a bit more old school Cloud9.
We'll see how antiquated this composition will be, though. Defensively, some pressure being established through B main, but it's just to get an alarm bot down. They'll back up, happy with that position, and now have to respond to Sentinels through the middle of the map. They have been perfect so far when it comes to pistols, 4 for 4. So definitely something to keep in the back of their mind, and well, Shazam is maybe thinking about working with 10s over through ropes. The spike is leaning towards B tower. The sentry turret will see this. And Cloud9 are still happy with their 3-2 split for now, largely just kind of hugging onto both spike sites.
There's the ball coming up, and Mitch beats the timing. He just goes over, peeks through the nebula, takes down Sick, and also the spike being revealed. Meanwhile, 10's had control over towards ropes, needs to win this 1v1 versus Poise for the important gravity wall. Tries to lock him up, but there comes the dash. Leaf on the other end gets the double, and this should be the round now for Cloud9. Just the one alive. Dapper can't get it done. With 4 up for C9, Pistol finally goes their way 3 maps deep in the grand final.
That's a hell of a time to get one, though, I'll tell you that much. And doing it pretty convincingly, so good stuff here from Cloud9 Blue. And I think it's going to be really interesting to keep our eye on what the defensive setup is going to be. You're seeing that Cloud9 Blue through their tournament so far. They love to kind of play aggressively through the outsides of the map. This time, it's that early alarm bot pressure that they're trying to set up at B, which will allow them a chance to respond to that B hit a little bit later than you would normally like to. And when you've got that little timing play that you mentioned over through the wall, that will obviously help as well. So great stuff there for Cloud9 Blue. This time the alarm bot sent middle, and Sentinels who are here will likely have no problem deleting this.
It's also, by the way, C9 trying to get some early eyes over towards B garage. You still do have Floppy over there. Just once the smoke fades, could be contact. Zom's also very deep into the cubby. We'll get rid of the Nano Swarm. Might be able to get Hunter though. There's a few players from Sentinels there. I don't think Mitch is going to get too aggressive here. Mitch will just hold the angle.
Floppy, meanwhile, pressure through B main. Good for both. That's the spike carrier also down. Cloud9's defense looking very calm and composed through these first couple of rounds. 10s and Shazam, the last 2 players left. Nano Swarm just to keep any play through male honest. There also is the sentry turret right around the corner. Mitch also using it as a bit of a bodyguard. Opportunity maybe to move forward, able to respond to one. Not gonna grab 10s though, so there's still play available. But here comes Poise from behind. Right over the top, the judge will finish the deal, and that'll be Cloud9 Blue with the first 2 rounds.
As you see C9 winning over towards B main and also in B tower, so Floppy holds on. There was 3 players in front of him. Gets the kill. And Mitch as well. Sorry, Mitch is who I was talking about in heaven, but yeah, Floppy over towards B main. They both get kills is really what I'm saying, and Cloud9 win both areas of that map, and they don't allow Sentinels to walk their way onto B at all, but that was the save. Now comes the actual buy 5 rifles. No wall for Sick though. That's the only missing piece of the puzzle here for Sentinels, as you did see Sentinels kind of buy into upgraded pistols and that previous round, so not going to have all the utility available.
Aggression coming through here from Poise with the judge. He does find one, but the response is decent from Sentinels. Not good enough for the full trade, as Leaf is able to create some space. Make sure that safe stays safe rather by the paint shells to come over the top, and he will back away and allow Cloud9 Blue to be up 4-3 off of the aggression through mid.
Changing the pacing here for Cloud9, keeping Sentinels on their toes, and we'll come out of that trade effectively. Just the 1-2, and here comes Zeta. A good flash will be excellent. Has the shoulder spotted. Zeta knows he's in trouble, so any util being spent. No, he's actually out of util, my bad. He doesn't even have a flash anymore. That's a bit upsetting. Alt line's available now, though.
Spike rotating over towards top ropes. Yep, there's the picture. Alarm bot's there, but Mitch still gets turned down by Dapper. So now all of a sudden, Sentinels have an avenue to work with. Rotating quickly as Cloud9 to get through screens, but Zeta gets red, but not well enough apparently, as he does still find elimination. Leaf up top, able to find one more, and it comes down to Dapper at 8 HP. Long range, finds the first, but how do you get the other 2 is the question. He's going to reposition, try to use the spike placement off of how he could maybe clutch this. Dark cover going to make life difficult. Leaf also watching this, finds their 3rd elimination, and Cloud9 Blue win the 3rd. A huge advantage for them early defensively on split.
Yep, and comes through from the early mid aggression as well. That goes their way. Again, a 1-2 trade where they only lost the 1 member, forcing a 4v3, defending B successfully, shifting over towards A, and eventually being able to take things into their hands. But more importantly, when you really look at how Cloud9 have been so far in this series, they've been the team that have not only lost the pistols, but they've been 0-3 in the first 3 rounds as well. That's happened both on Bind, it's also happened on Haven, but now kind of tables have turned. They get to take the first 3 rounds, including, you know, getting rid of Sentinel's guns. So that really makes the Cloud9 economy much more healthy than we've seen over the last 2 maps, honestly speaking. So full guns available for Cloud9, upgraded pistol for Sentinels, one SMG for Zombs.
Boys looking to get aggressive off the alarm bot. Trigger does not dash away successfully, but doesn't need to. Finds 3. Zeta will grab the 4th, and well, you want to talk about maybe flick of the day. That is an impressive triple coming through from Poise.
It looked like he messed it up. It looked like he was trying to dash away, and he completely messed up.
He absolutely missed the dash, yeah.
Might as well just go for the frags. He has to kind of do it, so boom. And then that 3rd kill on the 10s was crazy. Through the wall as well, so yeah, that's my contention for a potential flick of the day right there. C9, 4 up now. That's number 5 is what we're talking about. Those Sentinels have guns again. Cloud9 get number 5. They're on their way. Their snowball momentum will be very difficult for Sentinels to stop at that stage.
That's just so good.
Cage trigger.
Regardless, around that you would have expected Cloud9 Blue to win. Maybe not in that style. So a big round coming forward here for Sentinels. They do have an operator online for Shazam. Poise going to change his angle. Instead of playing aggressively through middle, he will hold a passive corner just on top of A. And how about this rotation coming through? Because the first blood coming over towards B might force Sentinels in this middle of the map to really consider what they want to do, because you've got Dapper up top, but he's been read by Leaf, so now all of a sudden he's a little bit trapped.
So they had A Heaven control. They're actually into vents now, rotating back over. 10's in a position in Heaven, but contact will be found down bottom, and Floppy wins another 1 versus 1. The reason Sek dies, by the way, is that you see the smoke on the mini-map. It was there over towards B main. Floppy uses that where he just gets the perfect timing on the smoke, and now the rest of Sentinels trying to get through towards B, trying to rotate, and they're completely shut down. Shazam with the operator. I mean, there's still 35 seconds, so it's not even like he can freely save it just yet. His positioning has been revealed, and he's got to hold on for dear life.
Not going to be allowed to. You saw Cloud9 as soon as they recognized where he was. Everyone charging forward, looking for the cleanup kill. And it's successful. Cloud9 up 5-0. And man, all of our storylines have just been backwards today, Admiral. We've been talking about how Sentinels have been looking so good on split. They're showing vulnerabilities to this like antiquated composition from Cloud9. It's just been kind of a weird day.
That's the thing, right? Cloud9 come through with a comp that they haven't played for a while. And not one you'd expect. You thought this was going to be like the Zeta Sky, Mitch on Sage, all of that kind of good stuff. They're going to bring through, you know, an old comp, and suddenly they're 5-0 up, about to be 6-0 up, because Sentinels haven't been able to win either of their gun rounds. Way straight into the Blaze, he knows there's aggression coming towards him. We'll find contact in just a minute. It's all of Sentinels in front, but there's a lot of Cloud9 that have arrived.
Patience with the knives, not going to connect. Leaf, not exactly the greatest, but it's Poise with the shorty. He's going to grab 3 with it. Are you kidding? What can't this guy do?
Like Yoru. No, Yoru's fine, I'll be honest. The Yori was kind of creative, it just wasn't a great comp. But this comp is, you know, it's actually working out. So I don't know, like, you can't even say, like, oh, Cloud9. If Cloud9 are saving strategy, they're winning while doing that. So that's a double whammy. And the fact that Poise popped the Blaze Storm, but then gets 3 kills, he's already halfway back towards the Blaze Storm. So it's like, not even that expensive of an ultimate for him to use. Flawless coming through, 6 rounds in a row. This is for Sentinels to make any sort of damage done on this first half. Sentinels got to pick up this round, and they got to do more with it as well. They got to convert that into further rounds. Shazam with the operator, looking to challenge. We'll be pushing up over towards me. Won't see anything. Poise on the other hand doesn't get the shot into 10s.
Now aggression. Dismiss comes forward, checks so much information. The neural theft also allowed to come out. Now the peak. Sentry turret denied, but Mitch still able to double up. Meanwhile, over towards B, Sick does find 1 elimination, but Mitch working on his 3rd collects. Spike down still in market. Keep that in the back of your mind. And Cloud9 are going to safely play the backside of their spawn. Timing, good for Mitch, working on the ace. It's just Shazam with an operator playing from the low ground.
Seen this before.
Yep, we sure have. Just comes down to the timing overall. Mitch, not going to give him an angle as of yet. Shazam, the one required to make the play, comes up the ramps, and it's an ace from Mitch.
And an operator recovered as well for Poise, so even a little bit of extra in the bank for Cloud9. There's even an opportunity, by the way, where we're potentially waiting for Sick to get a res. And Sick goes down to Mitch. So, and this is what I'm talking about right here. Just finds the timing, swings by. That's 4th kill. If Sick was able to, you know, kill Mitch, find a res, there's a situation for Sentinels to turn that round around. But as we're 7 down, I mean, this is going to go 8 rounds down, isn't it? So,
Yeah,
Cloud9, I don't know what's going on, but we've moved to split, where Sentinels have been pretty good on this map, but right now it's not looking that way. However, Sentinels have been a defensive-sided team, so we're going to have to see what happens on that side. This attack has been pretty awful, though.
Similar stack down the middle of the map. There is an alarm bot, but it's placed a little bit more passively into Mail itself, which now it's triggered. Defense will start to rotate accordingly. It's Poise who's quick to get here to maybe try to help out Mitch. Lockdown available as well. Just keep that in the back of your mind if things do get dicey. Sentinel stacking. Here comes the first play. The Leer a little bit too late. Cloudburst will not really do too much as Poise tries to move forward. Still with the shorty, but it's Sick. Puts him down. Barrier Orb trying to be placed. Mitch finds a second. Not going to get a third as Dapper is there for just enough assistance.
Not sure why Poise wants to get that aggressive. You know, is he just overconfident there? It does kind of cost him lives. Cost him Mitch as well. I mean, that's a lockdown gun. That's like a lot of your ultimates gone, unfortunately. And for Sentinels, yeah, they can't get a res, but the 3v2 is still good. Zeta doesn't quite have his ultimate online. No, Rolling Thunder has at least got a couple of flashes. One has been burnt. Gets Leaf onto site. Second one now burn as well. Leaf needs to get a couple of kills. Close by a member. It's going to be Dapper. Through the wall, maybe? Not quite. But we'll get the kills anyway. C9 Leaf has managed to put himself into a 1 versus 1 against Shazam. 12 HP. Shazam on full. Shazam only needs 1 shot, and for Leaf,
He doesn't think it.
time working against him.
Shazam is completely concealed. He has not been a part of any of these fights. Leaf thinks that he's up top. Oh my goodness. The patience from Shazam pays off in a major way. Leaf working on that 1v3, never reloads the weapon, and as mentioned, just cut down to too low of an uphill that Sentinels will eventually take advantage of, getting on the board for the first time, and they do it in thrifty fashion. Good stuff there to try to give themselves at least a look at some offensive rounds in this half.
I mean, something recovered here. Again, expecting Cloud9 to take the lion's share of the rounds, which, you know, technically they have. 7 means they've pretty much won it. Sentinels just picking up the scraps. Sentinels are kind of hoping for, you know, I'll say the same thing I said to Cloud9 on Blind, which is a 4 and 8 would be a bit of a decent recovery for Sentinels here. There's that opportunity. Zeta looking for an aggressive supporting play in mid. If they can find the right timing for this Rolling Thunder and then having Poise dash out, that would be exactly what they're looking for.
They were waiting for the alarm bot to come through first, but there was only 1 player forward, so now the aggression coming out, it's still being forced like a round peg in a square hole, and Tens will punish. Finds himself 2. There's the 3rd, and I believe they still know that Zeta's nearby as well. The resurrection comes through. Sick is able to convert as soon as he puts the hands down for the res to find the 4th elimination, leaving things down to Leaf. Nothing for him to do. You see exactly what Cloud9 was setting up for, but the problem was this time Sentinels triggered the alarm bot with just 1 player forward, and it was Shazam. He immediately dashes away.
And honestly, if you're Cloud9, you just got to cut your losses here. You know you failed the timing. There's wall coming up as well. You kind of have to leave, but they still want to challenge Tens. The Rolling Thunder gets put in there, but, you know, like you said, because only 1 player triggered the alarm bot, the timing is just completely whack. Floppy and Poise are trying to walk up, they're trying to run up to try and catch up to all the exiting players of Sentinels, but they're gone. They're into Rama, they're into sewers. You can't catch them at that stage. So for Cloud9, push Sentinels away from mid and then just hold the angles or just keep control. But to push forward after that, you're going to feed in.
Here.
Oh, Sick is going to hear this push through. Finds the first, needs to get the second, and does. Dapper, meanwhile, off screen. He's playing a solo mission topside A. He was able to find another Elin, but Leaf and Zeta are responding back beautifully to allow the defense maybe a chance at stabilizing, but as Shazam will be the victor of B main, it leaves Leaf again in a clutch-up situation. 1v3, dropping down from ropes, and he's tagged up so heavily. No chance there, and now all of a sudden, Sentinels building some momentum, and they've done this largely without having to use any ultimates whatsoever. They've got so many tools in the shed to use for the job.
And Leaf, his out there would have been to get 1 kill from Heaven, get the showstopper, convert into a second, and then find a 1v1 to finish things off with. And ideally doing that before a plant can come on through. But aside from that, you're not really expecting too much. Leaf would have to win a straight up 1v2 as he drops out of Heaven, which is not going to happen. And this is where, you know, Sentinels, great control outside of being main, Sick picking up all the most and getting away with his life. Now picking up a decent amount of momentum where, you know, Sentinels for a while didn't have a single round. It was 7-0 for Cloud9, and now the last 3 have certainly gone the way of Sentinels. Sentinels get at least 4 again. I think the target once more is definitely a 4-8.
If they win this next round, there's possibility for 5-7. That would be a heck of a recovery to get 5 rounds essentially in a row. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch, but Shazam, first blood, also sees Floppy. Thought for a second he was going to still have the angle locked in, even though he was smoked up, and it's Sick who gets the traditional way. So a 5v3 situation, Cloud9 going to be forced to retake, and they want to start maybe going quickly. HLs comes through, but the slow orb will push everything back 10s, considering where exactly they want to plant the spike. And as the neural theft comes out, spike simultaneously gets planted down low. Leaf trying to come on through, double blast pack play, but the barrier orb will deny. Zoms up top with 10s, working this on a crossfire, and they flawlessly execute, they flawlessly hold. And now 5 is looking much more likely for Sentinels.
Yeah, I mean, Shazam showing a lot of patience there, waiting for Mitch to cross over, gets the operator shot, wall comes up from second. They'll get the cleanup and the floppy as well, so they have full control over towards B. Cloudburst coming in just in time to block out Lee from entering onto site, and with the neural theft in play, they know all 3 of Cloud9 are currently in Alex, so there's nothing to worry about in heaven, which means Zoms can take that position and does get a kill from there. But their entire B setup after opening up the site ends up being flawless from Sentinels, giving them a flawless round, not losing a single player there.
Shazam early peek to top side A, not going to see anything. Neither will he over the top of the cyber cage to A ramp. So the knives will be a secondary option to what will likely just be the operator for most of this round, you would feel. And patience coming across largely from both sides. The only exception is Cloud9 once again have pushed up into B main.
This time no one from Sentinels is going to be there to address them. Late spike rotation. Thinking about Sick maybe taking that one through. Is he going to go mid or not? Because mid is not clear, so yeah, he's going to have to go through spawn. So first part of this round been pretty quiet. There's a lot of utility on A, but not so much players. I mean, no one aggressively, no one in ramps. So far, it's just Mitch playing all the way back in towards spawn, not even at screens yet. The other player that's closest, Poise and Vents. So as soon as this turret is gone, this is where the nanoswarms need to delay, allow Cloud9 to get a rotation in. Sentinels otherwise have pretty much got the side.
And Shazam is responsible for screens. Everybody else is going to be just pushing on forward. Mitch will reveal his position. Barrier orb will shut him down. Lockdown very quickly coming through. This will stall the spike for being planted. You see Sentinel scurrying away, but no, Sick is going to hold this for the plan. He will likely be detained afterwards, so help is going to be here, or need to be here rather, for Sentinels. But the fault line actually is going to delay a lot of players from being able to retrain their aim forward. 10s in the Empress, shut down. 2-for-2 exchange. Up top now. Leaf good for a second. Zom's the next one up on the high ground. Shazam's still sniping, but that's down low. And he actually gets the pistol out to find another elimination, but now it's down to Zoms. And not going to be able to get the angle. Leaf was holding it largely all the way through. So an 8-4 half favoring Cloud9's defense.
Yeah, massive from Leaf coming through as well, especially getting the 2 frags. But that lockdown opens up the defensive retake entirely. As you notice there, Sek, he decides to go for the stick and will get the plant through. But the only place he can go to stay safe from the lockdown is into the corner of the site itself, where they got pinged out. I mean, you know, if you're C9, that's probably where a player, at least one player, is going to be. So essentially, at that stage, 6 Light is forfeit. The rest of the players from Sentinels, after completely clearing from sight, have to kind of find angles again. I mean, they're all the way in towards, you know, sewer exit. So Cloud9, great recovery to stop the momentum of Sentinels, make sure Sentinels don't pick up 5, 4, and 8. Like I said, that's where it was in terms of target for Sentinels has been found, and now looking towards the Sentinels defense.
And a Sentinels defense that wins on average 67% of their defensive rounds. Not bad overall. And you're going to get Cloud9 doing their due diligence, clearing out B main. No cameras will persist. Boombot will be the first one forward. Dapper has been seen. He's also been tagged up a touch. And And the spike is a part of this play, so this very well could be an opportunity to move forward. The paint shells again connect so heavily. Tens is completely flashed up at the gravity well. Will give him a chance to respond. Also the Devourer coming through to get him back to near full health pool, but still Cloud9 on their way forward. It's Sick for 3 in the corner. Mitch trying to keep the play alive, but not going to be allowed. Sick finds 4. That's another pistol for Sentinels.
And the only reason he doesn't get the ace is because Dapper already got a kill off the back of a gravity well assist, and that's why I'm saying watch the start, because yeah, it's going to be C9 trying to get aggressive over towards B main, but they're all feeding directly into what is going to be a slow down engage, because the gravity well will always at least either get you a kill or slow down the hit entirely. That's going to give time for Sentinels to get the rotations in there, and Sick in the perfect position from heaven collects 3 into a 4th, and now it's 4 out of 7 for a res. We're going to get a fast res timing here, potentially.
Yeah. That could be so important, especially if it's earned by the 3rd round. We'll see. A lot would have to happen still for that to occur. Still 3 ticks away for it, but Sick in takeover mode. Sees some good information. Slow orb will go down. He'll alleviate the site. 10's now peeking forward. Will go 1 for 1, but Sick falling doesn't make a difference. It's Dapper through Mail, finding 3, running and gunning. And Cloud9 shut down immediately through mid-map.
Vents is a death trap as well, so Sentinels definitely making the comeback happen now, or at least starting to. 2 rounds going their way, 6 and 8. Important gun round for Cloud9 though. So that is 5 out of 6 pistols going the way of Sentinels. The 1 found by Cloud9 earlier on this map. They recover on this gun round though, because you see Cloud9 win this gun, they go towards 9. Sentinels get their own gun round. 10s won't have enough to buy this, so 10s is maybe in a bad spot if he goes down. He's only at 200, so Bank not the most impressive for Sentinels, even though this is meant to be a bonus.
Cloud9 taking their time, grabbing an orb, backing away. Not a lot of focus through mid-map. You see the barrier already placed, as very regularly it seems to be. Cloud9 want to open up at least some consideration that a play through mid is a possibility into the minds of Sentinels defense. But the spike making its way over to the long crossover towards A means that Shazam is the first defensive point of contact here. Nebula currently is taking at least some of that sight line away. Zom's a part of this. Here comes the timing. Nobody even looks at Shazam. Finds first blood. Has the cloud burst to stay safe. Now it's down to Zom to try to hold.
Voice is deep though, and this is where Sick drops down. They don't spot him. They don't spot anybody. Sentinels have gotten all these kills for free. There's not been a single response. Finally, Zeta gets Shazam down at least to make things more competitive, but it's only Mitch alive. And a multi-frag for Sick, who will now have a res. Could even pop one onto Shazam. Probably won't need to. As it'll just be the token kill coming through from Mitch. Goes down. And that is going to be Cloud9 not getting a single round this half so far. Sentinels with 3 in a row.
Oh boy. Things starting to really awaken in the Sentinels camp. A lot of tools available. Weapon advantage now in a major way to try to get things squared up at 8. Cloud9, what is going to be the pistol upgrade play here on this eco? For a team that, I've still categorized as largely playing aggressive throughout their upper bracket run, they have been tempered and slowed a lot by Sentinels through these first 3 maps.
Done well with Sheriffs in the past, and right now it's only Mitch on the Sheriffs. Leaf goes down very quickly. And a free heal up for Sick as well, so it's not even like the damage amounts to too much at the end of the day. Wall's not even broken, finally has. Cloud9 need to look for some sort of opening here. You can see that Poise doesn't even care about really checking. He'll just dive through directly into vents and could opening that up because Floppy survives so far. He has ramp. Poise goes down though, so that's that play done.
Oh, and Zoms. One more shot, the Floppy would be fine. There you go. Able to lock it up, no problem. Zeta for a 1v5 situation with a Frenzy. And as he deletes the trap wire, Spy Cam will tag him.
Getting tagged by everything.
Yeah. And while Sentinels will swarm, really for Zeta, you're just hoping for anything. Not going to find a single kill. Flawless for Sentinels. And all of a sudden, we're tied right back up at 8 again.
Really important flawless as well because you want to make sure you maintain the guns, especially Shazam's operator. So there it is. Plenty of money for the side of Sentinels. You would expect that with 4 rounds in a row. And here is where Cloud9, the real test begins, because this is the one that puts Cloud9 either in the lead again at 9 and 8, or will give the lead over to Sentinels It'll also be Sentinels 5 in a row. And if you actually think about the round summary so far, remember, Cloud9 got themselves 7 rounds in a row on their first half of this map, and currently Sentinels are on the way.
Although first blood is going to be good. Tens has pushed forward with the slow orb, but he doesn't know which way to check, and Mitch will find the kill for free. Throwing Thunder was also spent. Zom's in a heap of trouble. Still finds the elimination. Second one up, takes care of Poise. How have you done that? And look at the rest of the C9 members. They're still coming over through sewer, so a resurrection's in play. Zom's nearly good for a third. And now Dapper's in a position to try to convert. Zeta does win the opportunity to plant as Floppy finds 2 from ramps. So we go back to a 2v3 situation. Sick, even though his fault line still finds a kill. Shazam gets a read. The lockdown, though, in play. Already halfway to fuse. Looking for the full stick. Sick will clutch things up.
No way.
How in the world?
No way. That's that's incredible from Sentinels and highly upsetting for Cloud9 because that final lockdown could have been it, should have been it, but Zom's pulling through. You feel bad for Zeta, by the way, because all of the stuns he lands a stun, I think via the rolling Thunder onto Zoms, doesn't make a difference. You see him land another stun onto Sick, doesn't make a difference. Everyone's still getting kills while stunned up, and then finally Sick on through to give Sentinels a 9. Like, what is going on this round?
Get out of my way!
Sentinels, man, it's just the story in the maps and the story of their roster through stage 2 has been, you could just never count them out. They might find themselves down, but there's always a way they find a way to fight back. So now Cloud9 in a weird situation. They do have blades up. They've got a Spectre and a Phantom to work with for Zeta and Floppy respectively, and that means that, well, we've seen some incredible things from Leaf on the Sheriff. There is still kill potential, but a huge advantage once more for Sentinels on the defense.
I mean, I do believe in the thrifty wins because we've seen plenty of them for both teams, especially from Cloud9, though, to be fair. And Poise does have knives out for the Jet Blade Storm, which is always very important. Here we go, Empress. Tens knows it's coming up. 45v4, though. Mitch has been dropped down. Tens needs to reset. We'll finally get that one, but at the cost of Dapper. Sens with a couple. Tens are all tens, what I'm trying to say. Just down to the one now. Plays with the knives, has to go up against the Empress, and Tens is looking fine.
Oh, but he gets the reset. There's an opportunity still. Full HP, full armor. Cloudburst allows him to get the spike. And he just barely escapes. Not a lot of time remaining. Oh, gonna get a chance. Does tag up Tens just slightly. But this is gonna have to be a B commit. There's not enough time for him to get all the way back over towards A, and the high ground will be the next obstacle. And Sick makes use of it. Just a little play with elevation off the box. Sentinels. Oh, they're really stringing them together here. 10-8. Not a single round for Cloud9 yet on their offense.
Sentinel started on 4. They started on 4 rounds after that first half, and now they got 6 in a row, and this is what I'm talking about here with Tens, you know, that first kill, very important to get the ball rolling for the Empress. 3 kills overall. Poise in a really rough spot. Has to clear so much. Has only 20 seconds to plant, and Sentinels will just allow him in. So, yeah, I mean, this entire defense, both teams have been really phenomenal on the defense. And this is why I said in that first half, by the way, you're sitting there, you're looking at Sentinels, they're 4-8, and then I say, yeah, but Sentinels have that second half, and this is why I said it's, look at this, they're 6 in a row. They are going to drop a member early. So we'll see if that ends up helping the side of Cloud9. Possible contact here. Leaf doesn't quite get boosted up. Has time on the second with a headshot.
Yeah, good help to get the barrier orb down before it fortifies as well, because there would have been maybe an exit for Sick, but not allowed. Floppy going to be able to use from the shadows to get onto site. After putting a cyber cage, he's going to have to play his life through main, but he's going to be completely overwhelmed. 5v2 situation. Cloud9 looking really clean. And it started with the first blood with Zeta, who survived with 8 HP through B main. Now Mitch gets the spike down. What do you do here for Sentinels for this retake?
I mean, the Cosmic Divide is actually probably not going to help just because the entire site is covered with Cloud9. Zoms are taking a bit of heat as well. Shazam wants to hold on to the Operator, and it looks like they will just exit or look for the exit. Zoms could get a couple here, depending on where Cloud9 want to go. But 2 versus 5, Sentinels won't do it, so Cloud9 are finally back on the board. They'll finally get a round and a half. We'll make it 9 and 10. Just the one difference between the two teams.
Zoms making this punishing, though. Gonna continue to play forward. Plenty of cash to work with. Sees Floppy, sees Mitch, but the headshots will not connect. So backing on up to the vendor spawn. He'll stay safe. Operator will stay safe. But Cloud9 make it back to just a one-round game.
I think it's important for Cloud9 to break the silence here because we were nearly at the stage where it was going to be a 7-0 in the second half for Sentinels, which, as has been spoken, would match the 7-0 start that Cloud9 have. And that's where, you know, you really have to think back. How do we get from that 7-0 start from Cloud9 into a 10-9 situation? Really, if you're looking from the Sentinels POV, that's an insane comeback. Cloud9 now, again, breaking that silence, giving themselves a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum, bring us to a 10-10. Suddenly we're getting quite competitive again.
A lot of the utility from Sick will be spent here. Barrier Orb and a Slow Orb. The Spike is a part of that play initially for Cloud9 Blue over towards A, but it really just feels like it comes down to where do Sentinels want to trust the operator to hold? And so far you could see it just right there. Shazam on the X-ray watching this cross into market. Tens and Dapper want to push forward. Mitch needs to take one with him here, if not maybe even lock everything up for both. But this whole play is just to free up Tens to play aggressive through mid.
Meanwhile, over towards A, the stars are coming down. There's a Nebula. That actually might help Cloud9 get into heaven, which is what they want to at this stage. They don't have control. They don't know what's happening over towards Fence, and Dapper could find a timing here if he's actually on the rope, but he's not. Looks like Cloud9 actually do want to play through the smoke itself. Yeah, Poise has eyes. Rolling Thunder's going to catch Zoms. Zoms could be in trouble. Has to come down a sec.
He finds the first. Poise was watching the back elbow check the entire way, so no chance for Sick to make a play. Now it's just down to Shazam. Only real opportunity for him is to get the lurking kill onto Mitch, who was able to lock down first blood, by the way, off screen, and Tens' position moved forward. Reef, next one up, will be capitalized, and now we go 10-10, and that's a really clean round from Cloud9 Blue. They hold on to a number of their weapons. They even get the spike planted, so the economy is well in tow for them. And they will have, what, maybe one more round they need to deal with for Sentinels to put them in an economical disadvantage.
And by the way, Leaf doesn't have eyes on Zoms. He just expects that Zoms will be playing there. Because Zoms, on this A site defense, he typically does anchor behind Blue. He's behind that screen. So, I mean, just clearing it out with a showstopper. You see the Rolling Thunder coming through. There's no way Zoms can have heroics. We all remember that one round where Rolling Thunder did come on through. Zoms and Sick still got kills, even though they were stunned up. Don't want to see a second of that. So, taking no chances. Straight away into the showstopper, and now 10-10 makes things, like I said, much more competitive. Can we get over towards B, though? Trying to get past the trap wise. This time the gravity wall, haven't seen if it's been used yet. It hasn't slowed things down. It ends down early. It's 5v4.
Dapper found a lot of damage, but no eliminations. Leaf, one more. That was the heroic rifle of Shazam that they were able to eliminate. Spike will be planted. Looking for a flawless. Zoms scouted out in the backside of B tower. Dealt with by Leaf. Paint shells just in case there's a second, but Sick on the judge will avoid any incoming damage, and now an opportunity maybe to find some exits through this angle. But there are contestants coming from behind, and there's a lot of them. First one finds it, second one will grab it. So at least some punish. It won't be a flawless for Cloud9, but they'll be fine as they get on to 11 and retake the lead.
It did drop the operator, though. Don't know if Poise wants to go back into it. Looks like maybe not. So it might be time for the C9 guys to forget about the up for now. Shazam, though, he's thinking about it for sure. We can one up this round. Cloud9 have retaken the lead in what feels like it's been a while. I mean, they've had the lead for a while. It's just that Sentinels had 6 in a row this half. And now that that streak has been broken, Cloud9 have started a streak of their own. Just a couple rounds now away from securing split and maybe taking us to a 4th map.
That 4th map would be Icebox. Just as a casual reminder. Early lockdown coming through. Zoms will have the ability to get away from this. Here comes the play forward for Cloud9, and well, Zoms tried to hold his ground, gets dealt with. Leaf still thinking about pushing forward. Paint shells and Boombot committed. And will he push through this? We'll try to. Spam shots coming through initially. Spike has not yet been planted, and as Shazam and Sick find some counter trades, there's still an opportunity here for Sentinels to actually contest this post plant very quickly. Neural Theft will come out. Zeta looking for the flash. Does get 2. Does he expect Sick to still be holding that same corner, though, is the real question. Nanostorm also coming out, but Tens finds elimination, trying to work his way from the high ground. Zeta for a couple, and it just leaves things down to Floppy. 1v2 situation. The spike is still planted in his favor, but the resurrection comes through. The spam shot through the cloud burst will be good. Sick on 3, and Sentinels back to tying things at 11.
Honestly, Cloud9 are just fighting off more than they can chew on that round. They're trying to get very aggressive over towards screens, and after that fail, Zeta still wants to flash in, find something. Yeah, it's going to get the dash out of Shazam and get a bit more utility through. Poise diving in like that, that was definitely an overstep, and not the first time we've seen Poise maybe go a little bit too deep. The fact that there's a resurrection in here as well for Sec just means, you know, it's insult to injury. It's just an extra player alive. When Cloud9 don't have the members after kind of throwing bodies into screens, that will give an opportunity for Sentinels now to tie up once more. 11 and 11 on it so far. Still could be anyone's game. Ultimate advantage definitely in the favor of Sentinels though.
Pivotal gun round coming forward. Even with that win for Sentinels, you see Zoms is still on a Spectre, but the operator is in hand again for Shazam. Cloud9 looking to get a bit aggressive. They will pull up the ultimate orb. That's good for now the Rolling Thunder from Zeta to be earned fully. And even beyond that, a couple of tags on the Dapper will actually force the early healing orb from Sick to try to get him back to full health.
Question will be, where does the Rolling Thunder get played? Because we've seen him use 2 Rolling Thunders over towards A, nothing towards B so far. Could be into heaven. In fact, it's looking like it. He's in Ramen, moving away. It'll be B most likely. Does Shazam want to push up any further though? Here we go. Rolling Thunder into heaven, clears it. Paranoia follows through. Now have the entire control.
Shazam in a bit of trouble. Leaf trying to move forward. Floppy able to find first blood, but oh, it's a firing squad in the back. Boys able to at least respond to one in kind, so numbers still holding for Cloud9. Floppy, big 1v1 in the back. That will trap up Shazam pretty fully. Trying to get together for Zoms to maybe try to approach this 2v4, but as the spike is planted, look where the defense is now kind of gonna have to clear. You've got all 4 members of Cloud9 sitting in corners.
It's just enough time to try it. Zoms will go for it. Pick up a gun, a couple of members right in front of him, one to the left as you check it. Floppy first up, gets the kill, and there it is. That is basically going to condemn Shazam to saving. Sentinels will have to play for the OT here, and honestly, Cloud9, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They're going to go for the chase here. Don't allow Shazam just to walk away with this gun. But to be fair, Shazam could just blaze from the next round, but the operator is very important for those opening frags, and if possible, take it away.
He's hearing the footsteps. Poise dealt with. Even dashing away. Still potential point of contact maybe with Floppy, but he's not going to push the issue. So, map point for Cloud9. A must win to extend this to a 4th map. Again, this is the team out of the upper bracket, losing both of their map selections of both Bind and Haven. This the first one that Sentinels have been able to choose. You take a look as far as what Sentinels can bring into the mix here defensively. It's very broken, we'll say that much.
Sitting on a ton of ultimates for Sentinels as well. But yeah, like I said, broken. I mean, this will have to be heroics from Shazam on the operator. Empress with Tens, though, could always go off.
There.
Especially if you're feeding into him. Tens playing counter flash currently. Notice the star again, that's very important. One gravity well pushing. Here we go. Tens is ready. Tens has got to do it all.
He's able to find one, gets the dismiss. Sick is there for help. How have they managed to go cleanly? Second flash coming through. Tens trying to spam to the cyber cage, but it's Sick who does get the trade for Dapper. Shazam is also committed the blades into the mix, but the opening engagements, Avril, you beautiful genius, you called that one perfectly. 4v2 situation, everything perfect for Sentinels on that setup.
I mean, the real genius is here, the way that Sentinels set that one up. I mean, again, Tens playing anti-flash here, hiding in the corner. He knew the flash was going to come on in, and the gravity well, honestly, is the MVP. We talk about Zombs, we talk about the gravity well having maximum impact, and this is the road for Sentinels to take it to OT. Shazam with the operators already onto the line. This is going to be tough. First goal coming up. Should be a freebie. That's it. Mitch by himself now. 1 versus 4. Not feeling great for the chances. Will get Sick down. Can he get even more than that? We'll have to recover the spike, and Shazam is watching it. He kills Shazam, actually. So maybe the 1v2 could be on board, but 58 HP in limited time.
That sentry turret.
Recalling my boss.
How big was that placement? Get that back into the back pocket. Gonna need that again. This would be a 1v4 for Mitch.
It's a free plant.
It will be a free plant. He is hampered down to
though?
58 health. That's the
10
big
seconds
problem
left.
looking at here, Kev, is this health pool.
He'll get the plant. He can look for timings here. Your health pool is a bit of an issue. If you can get a timing for a couple of 1v1 isolations, that's how you take it. He has no idea where they're going to come from. Has eyes on Evan. Oh, all of this, the turret, the alarm bot, everything.
He's got the utility. There's the first one. Now the lockdown's been earned. He's going to set this one up as well. Zom's going to take the challenge and take it in hand. Nearly a 1v4 clutch up for Mitch. Turned aside at the last second. And we're going to go to overtime.
I mean, that was incredible. That was nearly Mitch saving the day for Cloud9. That would have been the 4th map for sure. It still could be. It's just OT. Neither team has won the map yet. But some mad heroics being shown by Sentinels, and that was an insane round as well. Up until, you know, we start with this play where Ten's in the perfect position. Shutting down the showstopper is huge. Dismissing away, and Poise turns his crosshair, tries to get the trade onto Ten's. That's when the rest of Sentinels strike, so here we go. 2 rounds of madness to follow. We'll see how deep in the rabbit hole we get.
Placing swarm grenade.
Setups coming through for Mitch all over to the A site, in which keep an eye on where Sentinels are stacking. All 5 members will be hugging this barrier wall. But you do have Poise as part of this Cloud9 defense with it. Could get some electricity here off the start. It looks like both Cloud9 members also want to try to get some early control of A ramps. So will there be an opening flood coming through? Sentinels seem to say yes. They run right on in. All of the utility going to be exposed here for Cloud9. Spam shots are not largely going to connect with too much. The nanostorms will stall the play for now, and Cloud9 are quickly trying to rotate.
Rotations.
But still, Sentinels on the site looking for a quick plant. Sick is going to get this down.
So there's a lot of utility still remaining here as well. Can Leaf open up the account? Nope, not quite.
There.
Paint shells straight to the back of site, you would imagine. Zom's in a great position underneath as well. This is going to be a hard one to crack. There's Paranoia. That's got to be the go.
Dapper is playing a deep, lurking role. He's just kind of toggling these vents, and well, how about it? The first couple of kills are decent. Dapper making his play now from behind, finds the 3rd straight kill for Sentinels. It's a 3v2 situation, some abbreviated health pools, but Sick playing with elevation, finds one. Poise not going to be able to clutch up the double.
Your duty is not
And that'll be 3 kills in the OT for Sick. There were a handful of rounds yesterday in overtime where Sick was clutch. Maybe some shades of yesterday coming into light here.
I mean, Sick has dropped 35 before. He's looking at 30 now. And this will be another insane Sick backpack play. Not quite so. I mean, you know, Tens is there with the 20.
Right there.
And don't mind Zoms down there at the 9. Look, the assist coming through from the gravity wells and all the rest of the Astro Util, that's been more than enough. So who cares about that scoreline? Sentinels now. This is tournament point.
Cloud9 heavily stacked in market. Opening slow or barrier orb placement to the middle of the map for Sick. Flash comes through just to make sure there's no cheeky angles being watched. Sick will read at least some information that there are, yes indeed, a couple of members that are nearby. It will force Tens to come over to assist if required. Spike is still not a part of this though, still dropped over through Ramen, so this will likely be a delayed push coming through for Cloud9. They will take control of vents though, as Poise moves forward after the flashpoint allows them the chance to control mid-map.
They get through into heaven though. Again, that star's going to be pretty annoying, and Tens can play off it. That combo's been pretty deadly. Sick will take down Floppy, so that's going to be the lurk taken care of. Nothing to talk about over towards A, straight towards heaven. Can it get done? Dapo for a couple of kills, and that might be it. 5 versus 2, Cloud9. That could be the tournament over.
Tens will fall though. Mitch trying to keep the play alive. It's Zoms and Dapper working together. Aftershock will push them out. Zeta gonna be good for 2. This would be a 1v3 for him, but not gonna happen. Bulls on parade. Sick finds the final kill. Sentinels in 3 maps.